Yo, 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 what's going on? It's BigCeaz. Welcome to the BigCeaz Show with your co-host, John JP. JP, want to give you a little shout out to that nice, awesome intro. Thank you, my kind man.
Of course, sir. Happy to help.
And today we don't have any special guests, but we do have a guest, Jesse Pollock from Bar Down. His brother, Jaden Pollock, will be coming on with us today and we'll be talking NHL. But before we talk NHL, John, who is today's sponsor?
We're looking at itixnow.com. Looking for tickets without all the crazy fees? Check out itixnow.com, the marketplace where verified season ticket holders connect directly with fans. No hidden fees, no waiting for payouts, just real fans buying and selling tickets the ways it should be. Visit itixnow.com today for Panther, Marlin, Inter Miami, Red Sox, etc. and experience ticket buying the way it was meant to be.
Definitely. And go check out their store. They have a lot of awesome merch. So if you're a big Florida Panther fan, go check out their store. Has some great gear as well. John, the NFL draft has come and gone. The New York Giants have improved.
It's
damn. Any surprise? Like before we get to what the Giants have done, because I knew as soon as they signed, they hired John Harbaugh. I'm like, damn, they actually got themselves a good one.
Got to try. Just like what they did with this draft, they went with the best available coach when they were looking for their hire. So, I think they wanted a guy who was going to have more control than a regular head coach. So he would definitely going to have his fingerprints all over, this draft, especially. And with the Giants, they usually draft and they assume they have a quarterback, so they draft to protect the quarterback.
Yeah.
So, I was surprised that we went for an edge rusher round 1, but he was the best person that was available. Arvell Reese was thought of as being like a top 2, top 3 pick.
And I think the one that really kind of set the tone here for the way the draft was going to be played out is we all knew Mendoza was going to be the number 1 overall pick. That was hands down. The Oakland not the Oakland Raiders. God, I keep mentioning them as the Oakland Raiders.
Las Vegas Athletics.
I will still think of them as the Oakland Raiders, but no, the Las Vegas Raiders that was a sure pick for them. I think Mendoza is going to be really good, and I think Tom Brady is going to just being the head of partial owner, I believe, is going to try to do everything he can to help him out. And what they did this offseason and adding the pieces, Jacoby Dean, that whole fiasco with Max Crosby was crazy. Who would have ever thought that Max Crosby would have failed the physical? So, but that's where it went. He ends up staying, and they picked up a lot of good defensive players, and all they needed was offensive players. And I like what the Las Vegas Raiders, gosh, I can't even say it. I like what they did. But Bailey, I think, was a surprise at number 2, just because Reese was the guy that was linked to the New York Jets. So, and I think once the Jets finally took him, I think the Giants were surprised.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, they said that they're going to move Reese to inside linebacker.
Yeah, and
so there's a redundancy there with was it Fredrickson? Somebody, but I was honestly surprised the Giants had 2 top 10 picks because I was like not paying attention to the transactions, and then I saw that.
So you didn't even know they traded Dexter Lawrence?
No.
Oh my goodness! Wow,
my football brain shut off in December, man.
But we're not in December, bro. We're in April.
We went past December.
Oh, I guess if you shut it off, then you shut it off. I guess, but
come on, Giants fan.
Yeah, I mean, the Bengals ended up trading the number 10th overall pick for Dexter Lawrence, And I think that was a good move by them because I don't think there was another player besides Reese, Caleb Downs, or maybe Maganoa, the offensive tackle that the Giants took,
Yeah.
um, that were there, that were gonna be there. Maybe Maganoa might have been there, but I don't think they were gonna go offensive line, and they needed defensive help. So that was a good pit deal for the Bengals to get a starting defensive tackle, not only a starting defensive tackle, an all-pro defensive tackle at number 10. So ultimately, it's like them drafting Dexter Lawrence. So I think that was a big part, and I'm not gonna lie, as a Cowboy fan, I was worried. Giants need defense, and people have been following me through last couple of weeks on social media. Caleb Downs was my number one overall player in this year's draft. Um, Regardless of position, because I know
Mm-hmm.
the safety position is not regarded as a high priority. Teams don't look at the safety position and say, "Hey, we need to draft this guy in the top 10." That's ultimately doesn't happen. But if you look at the NFL and the way it's played now, you have to have a great safety in order to have a good defense. So when I saw the Giants pick up that 10th pick, I'm like, they're gonna get Caleb Downs from the Cowboys.
Yeah. Um, I I mostly kind of went the way I thought it was going to. I thought Ruben Bain was going to go higher than 15.
Right. And I
Um,
think a lot of the off the field issues kind of dropped him down. And his
yeah,
measurables, a lot of people saying, well, he has short arms. He doesn't
yeah,
have the the physical traits of a defensive end, which to me I think it's total bullshit. Because if you
right.
turn on the tape, who are the University of Miami's top defensive linemen? You got
He
Ruben
was
Bain and Mesidor.
he was, but he was pretty much the guy, the big leader on the team. He was fun to watch.
Yeah. And when you turn on the tape against the Ohio State
Hmm.
game in the
That's the game where he
playoffs,
played. Yeah,
who were the only two players on both teams? Ruben Bain and Caleb Downs.
I should have guessed that.
I mean, those two were the two players that popped off the tape in that game. Um, the fact that the Cardinals, I think, here at number 3, getting the number 1 offensive rated player in this draft,
Hmm.
overall player, at number 3 is, I think, surprising to me because now they're gonna have to pay him. I believe it's like $12 million average for a
Hmm.
rookie running back who hasn't proved anything. And for them to have him at number 3, and I know they tried to trade back, but they didn't like any of the offers they got.
Yeah, I mean, when was the last time a running back was drafted this high? Was
Saquon
it
Barkley.
Saquon? Was it
Saquon
Saquon at
Barkley.
3?
Yep.
The Giants got him, but I mean, there were tons of question marks at that point, and Saquon was obviously a different maker from day one, and he's only. I mean, he hasn't gotten better on the Eagles, but he still has been just as impactful and helpful to the team overall.
And I think the Giants were linked at number 5 getting Jeremiah Love if he did fall that far down. Ultimately, the Cardinals ended up sticking to their pick. I think they're when we go and talk a little bit about the winners and losers, I think they're going to be one of those teams that it's like, I question that pick. Um, Carnell Tate, wide receiver from Ohio State, is another surprising pick here. Carnell Tate was really good. He's a good jump ball guy. He's a pretty decent route runner. He's another comparable player would be George Pickens, one of these guys that could come up and get the ball, but he wasn't. I don't think he was the best receiver that should have been taken here. Um, I en- I ended up having who was it? Jordan Tyson higher.
Jordan Tyson, yep.
I had him rated higher, and I thought maybe that would be a good spot. But the question marks with Jordan Tyson was his availability. So
I had I'd Mekhi Lemon higher than him too.
Yeah, and the Eagles ended up taking him by the Cowboys trading 2 picks, 2 4th rounds for the Eagles, 2 4th rounds of the Eagles. And
While
we'll get
breaking
to that
some
story.
Pittsburgh heart.
We're gonna get to that story. I'm gonna play that video later on. But how crazy that Dallas did that.
Yeah.
So we're gonna talk a little bit about it because such a
If
crazy situation there, especially with the draft being in Pittsburgh, right, John?
Exactly. Yeah. And if we got some people in the chat that want to throw out some teams that we want to touch
Yeah.
on.
Who are your guys' winners and losers? Did you guys have any surprises? But yeah, just looking here and just looking at Carnell Tate, I think he's going to be a good receiver. And Tennessee, you could have gone either way, right? They need help everywhere. So, um, when they took Cornell Tate and I saw Arvell Reese, I was like, damn, the Giants just got themselves the first or second best player in this draft.
Yeah. I had Reese was, let's see, he was number one as far as best available at the start of the draft, higher than Mendoza, at least according to the pre-draft analysis. But I thought that was a steal at 5. I see why, Carnell Tate went at 4 because they have 1-year deal left with Calvin Ridley.
Yeah.
Um,
and he hasn't really done much.
They have Wan'Dale Robinson too.
Yeah. And they wanted to give Cam Ward some help there.
I think it'd be good to have a young wide receiver grow with Cam Ward. I think they did a disservice to him last year.
Exactly. And I think it's a good alternative piece because he's more of a jump guy, get the ball receiver, where Calvin Ridley is more of a speed guy, running better routes receiver.
Yep.
So for them, I guess that's a guy they fell in love with. And knowing that Jeremiah Love wasn't there, because I know Jeremiah Love was linked to the Tennessee Titans as well.
Oh, that would have been such boring football. Just 3-yard button hooks and shuffle passes, and you got to get somebody who's big downfield, and I think they did a good job right there.
Yeah,
because then I think Cameron Ward's gonna. Sorry, is he Cameron Ward or Cam Ward?
Cam
he wants to be Cameron Ward.
Okay.
So yeah, no, just having somebody that can take the snaps, because you can't pass to the old guys every pass.
No, and like they definitely needed help in all parts of the ball. And yeah, so I like this pick for them. Do I like that it's this receiver? He's definitely not the highest receiver on my board. But then again, teams suck at drafting. They fall in love with their guys, and that's the guys that they take. So, but we'll see.
It's all hope trafficking.
Yeah. And which leads me, once the Giants picked Arvell Reese, I was like, oh shit. Here, and then all of a sudden we see the Kansas City Chiefs have traded up with the Cleveland Browns. And I knew that the Kansas City needed a cornerback or a safety. And I know Andy Reid loves his cornerbacks. When I saw Delane still available, Mansour Delane is the best cornerback in this draft, other than McCoy, who has some knee issues, who ended up dropping into the 3rd round, I believe.
Yeah, this guy was.
But other than McCoy, Delane is far out the best cornerback in this draft, and they went up to get him. Now Dallas was linked to talking to Kansas City of possibly moving. Dallas would move from 12 to 9 to possibly get either Caleb Downs or Sonny Styles if they were still available there. But the football gods were happening to answer the Cowboys' prayers, because Kansas City traded up with the Cleveland
It's all about
Browns.
The Cowboys, right?
Well, no, I mean, but like the way the whole thing like just fell, because like, I mean, the Giants didn't think they would get the Arvell Reese. They were probably linked to getting Sonny Styles, Caleb Downs, right?
I think they would have taken somebody. I don't know if they would have gotten best available, but best available was that good. So,
And it's crazy
yeah,
because there's a
I
little
honestly thought
clip
they were going to trade out, at least trade one of the picks out.
with them as much help they needed on defense. I knew that they were going
And
to
they have to get
pay,
it at
and
value. They have to get it at
yeah,
value.
and for them to get a 10th overall pick too as well, I was like, no, they're staying here. Um, so yeah, so everything just like started falling, and I'm like, and I told a lot of my friends, I think I was live on a Thursday for the draft, and I even said it live. I was like, watch Kansas City pick up Mansoor Delane, and they did. They ended up drafting him, and you know, here comes the Washington Commanders, and I'm still sweating it. I'm still sweating it, JP, because my guy's still there. My number one rated player on my board is still there. And I'm like, could Dan Quinn screw the Cowboys here? Could Dan Quinn go up and get Caleb Downs? And when they selected Sonny Styles, I was jumping for joy. Well, not literally, but yeah. But yeah,
Yeah, because they went. The teams after that were going to go offense.
yeah, yeah, especially with the Saints, right?
Yep.
They need to help their quarterback,
And
and
I never know what the Browns are going to do, so I don't even try to figure out like how to analyze what they do. But
no, so this is where it gets interesting, John. The Cleveland Browns need offensive help. They need to protect their quarterback.
mm-hmm.
Now, it
What
was
quarterback?
yeah. I mean, it.
If you have four
Sam,
quarterbacks, you have zero quarterbacks.
uh, I know. Oh, we'll get
Hey,
into that. What?
apparently, Deshaun Watson looked good today. Whatever.
I mean, I could
Damaged
look.
goods.
I could look good in t-shirts and shorts too. So I mean, just saying. But the key pick here was at number 9 because I know the Giants were looking at Malinoa.
Yep.
And that was the main guy that they were going to target because Malinoa was number 3 on my board. I had Caleb Downs, Arvell Reese, and Malinoa. Those are my top 3 on my board. And when I saw the Cleveland Browns took Spencer Fano, I was ecstatic. I'm like, yes, the Giants are going to go Malinoa or Caleb Downs. So when the Giants came up and they picked up Malinoa, I was ecstatic. Now, the Dolphins were on the clock after this. Miami needs help everywhere, right? They just fire sailed everybody basically. Jalen Waddle's not there. Tua's not there. Tyreek Hill's gone. All these players are gone on offense, and basically everybody on defense. Fitzpatrick is not there, so I'm like, shit. They got a defensive-minded head coach. This is going to be the Dolphins' pick. They're going to get Caleb Downs right before Dallas. And when I was streaming live on Thursday, and I saw Jerry Jones and the action in the war room, picking up the phone, everybody high-fiving. I'm like, oh my God, they're going to trade up to get the pick. A few minutes later, the Miami Dolphins have traded the 11th pick to the Dallas Cowboys. I was ecstatic. I
bet.
was happy. This was my number 1 guy. He was
That's
the
what you
number
needed.
1 player on the draft. And I'm not just saying this because I'm a Cowboy fan, because you all know the Taco Charlton pick back a few years ago, the Mozzie pick a few years ago, we all hated that. I wanted TJ Watt over Taco Charlton. And what ended up happening? TJ Watt is a freaking monster. And I will never forgive Rod Marinelli for that. But this guy, Nick Saban even said, this guy is a freshman. if he would have got drafted that year after, he would have been the first safety taken in the draft. So, I mean, for him to drop there, and kudos to Jerry Jones and the Cowboys for trading up to the Dolphins and making sure nobody behind them would trade up to get him.
As the Steelers found out, that is important.
Right? So, and, hey, Dolphins ended up picking next. I think that was a big surprise for a lot of fans. Proctor was a grade 3, grade 4 round grade on my draft board. He's got incredible measurables, incredible traits, but his off the field and out of the facility work habits are question mark. Nick Saban basically called him lazy. So when
if unsupervised, he's lazy is pretty much what he said.
So
he's good in the building, and then that's it.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a guy you're going to have to do a lot of investments of maybe hiring a nutritionist to stay with him, or who knows? Maybe he grows up, maybe he matures, maybe he because when he does the right things, like health wise, body wise, he can be a very, very good player. And I believe they got him to be a guard because, my understanding, the Dolphins have 2 really good tackles. So they might move him inside, and who knows? Maybe it might pan out. But I think in the first round, the biggest surprise to me, and I don't know about you, John, but the Los Angeles Rams.
Yeah, my analysis is pretty much Sean McVay's analysis, which is this.
Like, don't get me wrong, nothing against Ty Simpson. Dan Orlovsky has come on several platforms and has come on to social media saying he's probably the best quarterback, calling him better than Mendoza, which I don't agree with, but that's just me.
A little bit of research can be done there. Ty Simpson shares an agent with Dan Orlovsky.
There you go.
So Dan Orlovsky was actually running a psyop on the ESPN platforms for his boy. And I guess the GM from the Rams bought. But yeah, they share an agent. I found that out because he was talking about Ty Simpson a lot.
Like I said, nothing against Ty Simpson, but man, for a team that's trying to compete for a Super Bowl, JP, who's got
the
Seattle Seahawks in their division.
The coach he's made it a point that he's going to run with Stafford.
Exactly.
You have your guy. Why are you taking a number 1 pick in the first round? It's like when Aaron Rodgers was mad that they took Jordan Love in the draft instead of getting him a wide receiver. It's not the QB that's going to be mad. It's the coach that's going to be mad for the quarterback.
And nothing against Ty Simpson. Congratulations. He deserves it.
You're right.
He deserves to get drafted. Nothing against him. But Ty Simpson, I'm sorry, he is not a top 20 player.
ESPN had him at number 37.
And I had him more like 40, 45.
And he's he was probably the number 2 pick for quarterback.
Yeah, he was the second quarterback taken in this year. Because
it wasn't a good draft.
No, this year there's only, I believe, I had 12 players rated in the first round, and that is the lowest it's been in a while. So last year there was about 15 to 18 players ranked first round draftable players, and this year was between 13 and 40. You could argue that they're really close to being able to compare those players. So yeah, going back to LA, What's that?
Sanheim just scored a goal. It's 2-2 Flyers and Penguins.
Oh, wow.
Just to we're kind of hockey adjacent too, so I want to make sure that everybody knows.
Oh, for sure. And I kind of picked the Penguins to win the Stanley Cup, but it looks like I'm going to be losing that on that bracket. But it's okay.
I'm going for the Flyers, so it's an exciting all right development. Anyways, back to the draft.
So, but yeah, Ty Simpson goes to the Rams at number 13, and they were so close to beating the Seattle Seahawks last year. And with an aging Devontae Adams,
yep,
I thought Mikael Lemon would have been a perfect fit for Sean McVay.
I think any wide receiver, any running back, anybody, a receiving tight end, that should have been the priority,
right? I mean, it could have been Kenyon Saqid or Sadiq. I can't even say his name. I thought he would have been a great fit there for LA.
Casey Concepcion
also as well. There was a lot of players, and you could have moved back and got more draft picks. Like the fact that this was their guy, it reminds me of the Atlanta Falcons a few years ago when they got picked Penix. When they drafted, and they ended up taking him after signing Kirk Cousins to a
they had Cousins. Contract. Yep.
So,
and Cousins love that.
Yeah. So, I mean,
you question,
and the Rams normally have a really good draft. They usually have really good players, and they do a great job of drafting. But I question this decision of getting Ty Simpson. Don't get me wrong; this will be a good opportunity for him. He doesn't have to be the main guy. He can go ahead and just, sit behind Stafford and learn. But man, Sean McVay was not happy. Or was that him baiting the media?
Just staring daggers at the GM. Oh my God, that was funny.
It was crazy. I still question that pick. I don't know what the heck they were thinking. But hey, things happen. And then we got a couple players moving down, and I think Ruben Bain, my friend Nick from the Cats and Rats podcast, shouts out to Nick, called this that Ruben Bain was going to get drafted to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I think that is a perfect fit for Ruben Bain.
I thought that for sure, if he was available to the Dolphins, he would have been picked by the Dolphins. But I think that's just the convenience of college looking at that.
But the Dolphins ended up going with Proctor over Ruben Bain, which I was shocked because they could have actually got him. And the fact that they passed up on Ruben Bain over Proctor is crazy.
Yeah, it's that Dolphins pick was risky, but going back to Ruben Bain, I think that's we know what kind of player he is.
Yeah.
He looked like a pro among men when he was, playing for Miami. But yeah, it's good value for the Bucks.
And I know, and I hate when people compare measurables like, oh, he doesn't have a long arm, he doesn't have this, he doesn't have turn on the film, watch him play. He is the best player on that D line. He is wreaking havoc on the left tackles, right tackles, wherever you move him. He's amazing on the run. He's a good guy that can set the edge. And you don't need long arms to be a good pass rusher.
So much talk about arm length this year.
It's crazy. It's insane. So yeah. And then I was questioning this one by the New York Jets, the next pick.
With every right, you have every right to do that.
Kenyon Sadiq. Now he looks more of a receiver. He's got
Yep.
the frame of a receiver. I believe he runs like a 4.5 speed. He's
He had
very
a 4.39.
4.3. Ooh. So he's faster than your typical receiver. I question this pick just because of them picking Mason Taylor last year, and they got a couple other tight ends. But if they use Sadiq more of a receiver set, they have a good offensive core. And they had 3 picks in the first round, which we'll talk a little bit about the next couple of picks here. And I think they traded one of their 3 first round picks to go back into the second round. So, but yeah, Sadiq is going to be a good piece there. I just question them going up and getting him. Maybe they didn't see him lasting to the next pick that they had. So who knows? Then the one which I think we were all talking about, right? Number 20, the Cowboys are on the clock.
Yep.
And what ended up happening?
Well, the Eagles, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. So the Cowboys were on the clock. Then they traded to Philly, so that the Cowboys would move back to 23. So the Eagles were on the clock. They are apparently trying to call their wide receiver that they want to draft, and they can't reach him because the Pittsburgh Steelers are on the phone with him, congratulating him on being a Pittsburgh Steeler. And so his agent or dad or somebody comes over and runs over with another phone and saying, "It's the Eagles. It's the Eagles. They traded up to get you." You can see him put the Steelers hat away.
Oh my God.
It's great.
And and he was actually there in Pittsburgh. So
Yeah.
that
would have been funny.
That's
But he's like, "Oh, I got picked by the home team for the draft. Like, this is awesome. I'm gonna go out there and everybody's gonna be cheering." And then, nope, cross state rival.
oh my gosh. I'm trying to find the video here, and I got it here. So let's take a look at what Nick Harris had to say from the Dallas Cowboys. And it's really interesting because Mike McCarthy was one of those guys who was the Dallas Cowboys head coach there, right? So he's the one who has the intel. So let's take a look at what Nick Harris from the Sports Telegram here and the DallasCowboys.com had to say about the situation.
Pittsburgh is pissed about this. They feel like Dallas duped them. They, especially with the draft being in Pittsburgh, they felt embarrassed on a national stage. So there was a wild development that happened in the war room, not only in Dallas last night, but also in Pittsburgh and in Philadelphia. So the Cowboys are sitting there on the clock at pick 20. They were planning on taking Malachi Lawrence right there, but they did, entering that pick, they wanted to trade back. They had been tipped off somehow that Mekhi Lemon was going to be the pick for the Pittsburgh Steelers, the USC wide receiver. There's a lot of connections with that new Pittsburgh staff. Remember, Mike McCarthy is the new head coach there. He hired a lot of, assistant coaches and executives and scouts and people behind the scenes that were in Dallas just a couple of years ago. So it could have been as simple as someone in the Dallas war room just shooting a text to somebody in the Pittsburgh war room, being like, "Hey, who are y'all taking here?" And them thinking, "Oh, the Cowboys are taking defense. This is just two guys, two girls talking right here." It's like, "Oh, we're taking Mekhi Lemon, And the Cowboys call Philadelphia. Cowboys call Philadelphia. They're like, "Hey, the Steelers are going to take Mekhi Lemon. We know you want a receiver. Come up here, do this deal with us, and give us 2 fourth-round picks." And they did the deal. And Pittsburgh is pissed. Wow. Multiple sources have told me this morning.
Damn. I love that.
Yeah.
I love the Cowboys being petty and
yes. It worked out great for them.
This isn't a Boy Scout troop, man. We're trying to win a championship. Yeah. Who cares if the Steelers are pissed off?
There's clips out there of Mekhi Lemon being on the phone with the Pittsburgh Steelers and then him being like, "Hey, why is Philadelphia calling?" And his agent's running in the room. "Philly just traded for you. It's going to be Philly." And he has to hang up on the Steelers and answer the Eagles phone call and take that. And he's drafted at the 20th overall pick.
How crazy.
How crazy. 3-2 Penguins.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, in the back of my mind, I had a feeling that Jerry Jones was going to try to mess with Mike McCarthy now that he was back in the league because he walked away from him. Like nobody walks away from Jerry Jones.
But at the same time, I don't think Jerry wanted that extension because he didn't offer the extension to him. What's crazy is that, Mike McCarthy, who was here with Dallas, obviously, like Nick said, hired some people from Dallas to work for him.
Yep.
The crazy part is, why would you tip off what you're going to pick to a team that you're going against? It's crazy.
So my thinking is that because it's a different conference, is that like, hey, we're not slated to play you every year.
Still,
but people got buddies and like, so yes, I hear you, and I think that if they ever find out who told the Cowboys,
he's gone.
Out of there.
There is no way he's staying in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, because that's an embarrassing look,
especially when you have the draft in your city, your state. Like this is all eyes on you, and but at the same time, I also blame the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like, why are you calling the player when you guys aren't even on the clock yet?
Yep, that's it's awfully presumptuous of the Steelers.
You could all arguably say, oh well, Dallas needs a defensive player there at number 20. They're going to go defense. We know that they're not going to go offense. But I could contradict that thinking by saying, a couple years ago, 2020, CeeDee Lamb was available.
Yep.
Well, Lemon's the best receiver available there. They don't necessarily have to go for defense. Dallas could have been easily. I don't think they were looking at Lemon, but you never know. So I blame the Steelers. I think it's their fault. And during the drafts, you have no friends, buddies. Nobody is friends during draft night. It's like you against everybody else.
Yep.
So
the only time everybody's friendly is owners meetings and Lake Tahoe when everybody goes to play golf.
Yes.
They do that celebrity tournament.
Yep. So I thought that was crazy. But congratulations to Lemon. I thought the Eagles got a really good player. This goes to show you what's going to happen to A.J. Brown. The writing seems to be on the wall. I don't picture him staying in Philadelphia.
Thanks to Vrabel and Rossini.
But yeah, it was a crazy situation there. Man, it made them look really, really bad. And let me go back to the first round. Here we go. Let's take a look at who the Pittsburgh Steelers ended up taking. They take offensive tackle Max.
That's all you.
I'm
It looks like, is it like
Max I?
Yeah, it looks. Yeah, if you just make his I a T, it looks like the anchor. Max the anchor.
And I am sorry if I butcher your name or if JP butchered your name.
We did.
Max H. I'm so bad at names, so everybody knows that. So.
Max I.
Max. So, but they ended up taking a tackle. Good for them. They need offensive line help. And the Cowboys ended up going back a couple of spaces, traded with the Eagles. Eagles take Lemon. Cowboys got 2 4th-round picks, which helps them because they traded 2 5th-round picks to the Dolphins to get Caleb Downs. Malachi Lawrence was their guy all along. They were going to draft him at 20. Anyways, they get a couple more draft picks and end up moving back. I thought that was phenomenal by the Cowboys. And the key player here at number 24, which I never thought that I would say this, I feel like the Cleveland Browns did a really, really good job in this draft. They might have won the draft.
Yeah, if they're not the Giants, I would say they won the draft.
A little bit biased there, huh, JP?
Oh, a little bit. Look, they as we said, they have several people to throw the ball, and the ones that can catch the ball are leaving in droves because the ball isn't getting to them. So it's like you gotta take a shot and maybe commit, because one of the quarterbacks on the Browns is going to stand out eventually, and you have to have somebody young ready for him to to grow with as far as the pro game goes.
Exactly. And I love their second pick here, Casey Concepcion. We talked a little bit about it a couple of weeks ago about him having that speech impediment, right?
Yep.
We thought that maybe he might go to Buffalo. Buffalo had a little bit later pick, wasn't able. They ended up trading out of the first round, and they didn't have a first round pick, so they got a couple more draft picks towards the end, and ended up picking someone on day 2. But good for them. And one of my dark horse players here that's going to be really, really good is Dylan Thielemann, safety from Oregon. That's another guy that I had linked to the Cowboys, just because if Caleb Downs wasn't there, he's the one guy that I thought the Cowboys were going to get. Maybe get Ruben Bain at 12 and Thielemann at 20. I would have been happy with the draft. And I think Nick would have been too. We talked about it as well on my show here on Thursday. But the chips fell where they fell. Dallas got who they wanted to get. The Giants got surprisingly better than what they thought they were going to get. And let's kind of talk a little bit about who are your winners and losers in this year's draft?
Yeah, so I'm gonna say,
and this is just to like not to what the players are gonna be, but what they are and what we see now. Because obviously the draft is a crapshoot, right? You can sit there and say that's the best player in the world, and all of a sudden he ends up being a bust. It happens every year.
Yep. I think so. Obviously, the Raiders had the first pick. I think if they got Kirk Cousins, they got him, right? So if he is actually there to be the mentor and he knows that, as opposed to what happened in Atlanta where they kind of pulled the rug out from under him, I think they could get high marks for what they did, because Mendoza is obviously a gamer that the national championship game showed exactly why he should be in the NFL. So in a very, very, very thin pool of quarterbacks, obviously the right choice there. And then I'm going to be totally biased and say that the Giants did a great job because 2 top 10 picks and they didn't miss on either. Francis Mauanoa. It's a Tagovailoa situation here.
You get rid of an Oa and get another Oa.
Yeah. So, obviously, protecting Jackson Dart is going to be you got to protect Neighbors, Scadaboo, and Dart at this point. So Dart's going to need time in the pocket, time to scramble. And so getting somebody who's 6'5", 325, you need that kind of body in front of Jackson Dart, especially on his strong side if he's playing on the right side.
Yeah. And I kind of want to share this here on Instagram. It's kind of crazy how you said that. Hold on, let me see. Here we go. And if you can see here, Fox NFL has the Jets as the winners, the Giants as the winners, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I kind of agree with that, sort of. I think Tampa did a really good job of getting Ruben Bain and a couple of other players. They got Scott, the slot corner for Miami as well. 2 Miami players stay here in Florida and end up being going to be playing in Tampa. So yeah, I mean, I definitely have the Giants as one of my winning teams. I have obviously biased, but I think the Cowboys won this year's draft. They're one of the teams that are winners. And I'm going to say the Commanders as well. The Commanders did a really good job of anchoring, getting a couple of defensive players, offensive linemen now, getting some help for Jaden Daniels. So those are the teams that I feel like definitely have improved. And let's look at these losers from the NFL Fox Instagram page. I totally agree. I thought the Rams had an opportunity, and we talked about it here a little while ago, JP.
Yep.
Getting a quarterback in the 13th pick when you don't need a quarterback now, especially with next year being a high-driven like quarterback prospects coming out of the draft next year. You can't tell me they couldn't package that 13th pick for another pick next year.
That's absolutely true. I would have kept the Rams, the losers.
I don't agree with Tennessee being the losers.
I don't either. I think that the other three teams in there are just kind of middling, like nothing spectacular, no fireworks either way. I thought the Vikings, they had the 18th pick, so they with the 18th pick they picked a guy with a bunch of foot surgeries.
Yes,
and it's like it was a reach for the first round. So I thought that if you're going by the first round, I think the Vikings are the biggest loser of that round.
Yeah, and great point there, JP, because I kind of had the Vikings taking Thielemann. They need a safety. Harrison, just like your number one safety for many years, is no longer there. Who are you going to replace him with? You had Thielemann right there at number 18. And your division rivals, the Bears, end up taking him.
Yep. And like the only thing I can think of as far as biggest loser was the biggest reach of the first round, which is not Ty Simpson. It's probably Jeremiah Love. Just because
I don't know if he was the biggest reach because he was a top 5 overall prospect and he was a top 5 on the board. So he did go end up top 5. I think
this is a fairly new thing with the running back so high.
Yeah. Well, and now you have to pay a running back $12 million a year, a rookie running back at that, right? Mm-hmm. So it's not what we think is.
And you know what? The fail might not be that they picked Love. It might be that they didn't trade out of that spot.
Right.
They should have gotten somebody to trade out of that spot.
Maybe, and I think their guy was probably Bailey. Defensive end from Texas Tech.
Okay.
So
yeah, I think the biggest transactions I think were Lemon to the Eagles, Reese to the Giants. I think those are the two big ones.
Yep.
That will be the most impactful. Especially with AJ Brown on his way out, potentially.
Exactly.
If Vrabel pays his phone bill.
So yeah. And then I think there was another team who I had a loser here we were taking a look at was the Jacksonville Jaguars. They took a tight end that wasn't even ranked in the top 200. They took him in the second round. A guy that wasn't even like I don't even know what they were doing. It was questionable. Khan, who everybody knows, the owner of the Jaguars, does some crazy stuff. So, and this was definitely one of them.
I'm excited for those. You're gonna have NHL or NFL lucha masks partnering up with AEW. So you're gonna have lucha masks for every team this year. See, now you can go to a Dolphins game looking like Rey Mysterio.
That's crazy.
Wheel Mysterio.
If you're hey, I have my mask. Could you imagine? Although I do
What's
have to
stopping you?
say, I do have to say, wearing that mask for more than 2 hours is I can't do it. I don't know how
It's got to
Rey
be at a
Mysterio-
hockey game. It's got to be at a hockey game.
Even at the hockey game, I've done it, and I can't do it. It's hard, man. it's something that I didn't really enjoy, which
Well,
is
to be
why I
fair,
didn't.
Rey Mysterio is not really wrestling for 2 hours straight.
No, but he has it on pretty for a while,
Right.
and when he does events and stuff, I guess so. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this is now that they're doing that.
But that's a partnership because Tony Khan owns AEW, the son of Shad Khan.
Yep. Man. And I think they'll be playing in Orlando next year, not this year coming up, but the year after, because they're re-renovating their arena. So they'll be playing in Orlando, which will be kind of interesting.
Is it a test run for an Orlando team?
Who knows, right? I
You
don't
just do
know
a
if
Florida division.
right. But
Right. And then the rest of the draft, whatever.
Yeah, so exactly. Let's kind of go into now the NHL here.
Yes, sir.
NHL playoffs are here. I don't know about you, John, but I've had a struggle of getting into it this year in the playoffs. How about you?
You know what? This hockey game is pretty fun. I like it.
Yeah.
Hockey's a fun watch. Yeah, I might get into it.
I for the first time I got into the Boston game yesterday, and I ended up streaming with Cats and Rats podcast yesterday with the Boston and
Sabres.
Sabres. There we go. I can't even remember the teams.
Sabres.
That goes to tell you I'm not really into it, but the Sabres ended up dominating. Boston didn't even look like they were ready for that.
In Boston, that's the worst part.
Swayman, when he got pulled, he started yelling at his guy.
He was barking.
He was not happy.
Which is why in the chat I'm like, oh my god, do you think if we don't get Bob, do you think Olmark or Swayman?
That'll be interesting.
Swayman is good with good defense, as he's seen all year, and then his defense just gave up on him the last 2 games.
Yeah. And McAvoy was awful, and I love the guy, but he has not been good in this playoff series. So, we'll see what happens. Today we got the Pittsburgh Penguins playing the Flyers. Pittsburgh's winning 3-2, right?
3-2, yep.
3-2, okay.
Yep.
I picked them to be my NHL Stanley Cup winners.
Why?
So it was just a hunch. It was just like, you know what? I really don't care who wins this year, as long as it's not the Edmonton Oilers and the Tampa Bay Lightning. And I want to bring up our special guest to talk a little bit about hockey. It looks like he ended up joining just in time as I said that too. So,
Chris Letang scored the last goal for the Penguins. So I think there's been a goal scorer in every Penguins game over the age of 38.
And we have our special guest today. Jaden, can you hear us?
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you're a little bit broken up, but we can hear you.
Oh, weird. Yeah, I connected my headphones and it was giving me some trouble, but hopefully this works.
Yeah, we got you, man. We got you. Welcome to the BigCeaz show, man. Good to have you on again.
Appreciate it. Happy to be back. I'm a little bit more prepared this time. I'm at my home, not at my buddy's place. So
no interruptions this time, right?
No. Got the Penguins game on while we chat, so all is good.
Let's go Penguins.
No.
Yeah, I'd like to see the Pens come back in this series. That'd be awesome. Sid the Kid, baby.
I picked them to win it all just because I want to see Sid win it again. And just to rub it in Connor McDavid's face a little bit. You know,
Man, it's pretty crazy to think that we're watching all these Hall of Famers playing together, and they're all still playing at such an elite level. Like Evgeny Malkin's almost 40 years old. Crosby's approaching 40. Erik Karlsson, Chris Letang. Like these guys,
Brad Marchand.
Legends. These are legends of the game. Brad Marchand is golfing seas. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, but he won a Stanley Cup last year.
Well, like you
That
put
was
Ovi in
last
that
year.
list. You can put Ovi in that list, but he's not playing any games right now.
Yeah, you could throw any old player in that list right now. Oh, Brian Rust. Oh,
Just missed.
it's amazing that we're still watching these guys play hockey. So try to get it all in. Like I've been watching these guys play since I was a kid. So yeah, I'm just gonna take it all in right now. See them come back in the series would be awesome.
What have you thought so far of the Boston Sabres series? Obviously, the Sabres had such an incredible year, young team. I didn't think that they might going against Boston. I thought that they had a really good chance just because this is Boston's first year going back to the Stanley Cup final playoffs, right? And they're a young team and they don't have the pieces like the Buffalo Sabres. Talk about that series real quick and what you've seen so far.
Man, that series has been awesome. Like Buffalo's barn just looks electric. Those fans have been waiting so long to watch their team play. It's incredible. Their jerseys are so nice. They got really fun players. They're young, but they still have some vets. Alex Tuck is a guy who it's funny calling him a vet because in my head he still kind of feels young, but this is a guy who's been around the league for a long time. He's been to Stanley Cup finals. He's a gamer. So just watching this team play with those types of leaders, and then you see a guy like Tage Thompson come in. He's been lights out. Bowen Byram on the back end, like their D are all getting production. Ostlund gets healthy scratch for the first couple of games, and he comes in. He's put up a couple points. So it's just been great to see Buffalo succeed. I thought the series would be a little bit closer. I was not expecting that blowout yesterday, but hey,
neither did I, especially in Boston.
In Boston, matinee game, like no one saw that coming. So good for Buffalo. We'll see how Boston responds. But if I were to take a team to win that series right now, of course, I'm taking the Sabres. So it's been great so far.
Any surprising players on that team that caught your eye? That's, maybe Alex Lyon. I know Matthew Tkachuk said in his podcast that he's raised the intensity in the locker room when Florida had him.
Yeah, so Tkachuk was talking about it on Chicklets. He said if it weren't for Alex Lyon, the Panthers wouldn't have won those back-to-back cups. And remember, Lyon helped them get into the playoffs the year before they won their first cup. The year that they went to the finals and lost to Vegas. So just him just being that boost of confidence, right? A goalie has so much power. They're able to just spark their team in a way like no one else can. I mean, look at the goalie situation, right? Pittsburgh takes out Stuart Skinner. They throw in Shelovs. The series has now changed. Tristan Jarry comes in for Ingram yesterday. I know the Oilers lost, but Jarry looked great. I feel like they're going to feel comfortable putting him in tomorrow, no problem. So it's amazing what a goalie can do. And look at Lyon, right? Like Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen lets in that garbage goal. I think it was game 2. Everyone's just panicking. They think, okay, we can't throw this guy in again. He just led in the worst time. Lyon steps in and he's been dominant since. So yes, you chat tonight about Lyon. He's been awesome. Austin hasn't been so awesome. Is Charlie McAvoy. He was -5 yesterday. Like that's unacceptable. I mean, no one played well, granted, but like
no
-5 in a home playoff game and expect your team to have success. It's just inexcusable.
No, it's definitely inexcusable. And I love Charlie McAvoy. He's a great person, but in a time like this, you're in the playoffs. You can't have that. That's unacceptable, especially on the defensive side. So I think he'll pick it up this next game. It's a must win. So they either lose or they're out. So but yeah.
No, McAvoy's a gamer. I imagine he'll come back flying, but I don't know. It's just the chemistry of the teams right now. Like Buffalo just looks like they want it way more. They're getting contributions from everyone in the lineup. I mean, you guys know that's how you win a Stanley Cup. Like, obviously your top guys need to produce, but you need to get depth throughout the whole lineup. Look at the Ducks' fourth line. Like, they were dominant yesterday. They've been awesome all series. Look at Edmonton's fourth line. Yeah, I don't know how no one's been talking about Trent Frederick. I mean, he's been terrible, but that he could have got the puck out yesterday. I think they took an icing. Puck was in their zone. He could have cleared the puck. Doesn't get it out. It ends up leading to the goal. I mean, it's just it's the little things. Exactly. You don't need your fourth line to get on the stat sheet and put up tons of goals, but you just watch some of these guys buzz around out there. But a big hit, maybe a goal here or there, draw penalty. It brings your team so much energy. And I know I'm kind of hopping all over the place here, but look at Tampa Bay. I mean, they bring in Crozier. He's like their maybe 8th or 9th defenseman. Comes in, lays that booming hit on Slavkovsky. And to be honest, I feel like that changed the entire series. It kind of reminded me of the Blackwell hit. Remember Minnesota and Dallas? It looked like Minnesota had that series in the bag after game 1. And game 2, it's a close game. And Colin Blackwell, who's not the biggest guy, lays out Trennan on Minnesota, who led the NHL in hits. He's a big body, knocks him out. He's out for a couple games, clean hit. And look at how that changed the series around. So I feel like Crozier laying that hit on Slavkovsky really, really changed that series around. And now Tampa was able to tie it up. So
3 unanswered goals. I mean, credit to them. I haven't liked the way Matheson has been playing for Montreal. He probably responsible for 2 of those 3 goals. I know he got the extension. What did you think about his play here?
So I'm curious, does Matheson typically play with Dobson? I don't watch a ton of Habs during the regular season, but I'm pretty sure those 2 guys typically play together. So now that he's out, now that Dobson is out, I'm pretty sure Matheson is now playing with Carrier, who actually has been pretty good. Correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like those 2 guys have been playing together. Carrier has been good. He's got experience in the playoffs. But yeah, I don't know. Probably wasn't Matheson's best game. Hey, sorry, I know we keep jumping all over the place here. I just feel like I got a lot to say, boys. But
it's been crazy. That's why we got you on, because you've been watching every single series, and your knowledge is really well. So really appreciate it.
Oh,
you got me.
I cut out there, but can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you're good now.
Yeah, hockey's a good time.
Caden, you got me? I feel like we're playing freeze tag.
Oh, okay. I think I'm back here, boys. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that, boys. I don't know what's up with my internet. The internet up in Winnipeg, it's not the same as in Florida,
I mean, when the story of the Winnipeg life, you guys suck and your internet sucks. So,
man, it's also freezing here. It's still winter here. It's a complete joke.
Oh, damn, it's like 82 degrees out here. So
if we're doing weather, I got 70 in Massachusetts today. You're pretty good.
We do Celsius here, so it's about 5 Celsius.
Oh, so that's like what, 35 degrees?
No.
Fahrenheit or
no, way colder. Oh, actually, sorry.
About 100. About 100.
What am I talking about?
About 100.
Anyways, boys, what the hell was I saying? Okay, the penalties in this Montreal Tampa Bay series are getting out of hand. I'm sorry, I got to say
crazy.
something here.
These referees,
I would say, and in the Philly Pittsburgh too.
It's the flopping. As soon as a guy has a stick anywhere near their legs or hips, they're falling. It's honestly not good for the sport of hockey. And I think maybe there needs to be some sort of video room where they can review penalties, because the embellishment has been taken to another level this year, and it's really hurting the playoffs, but specifically that Montreal series. And yeah, I agree, the Pittsburgh Philly series as well, but I think specifically the Habs Lightning series. Something needs to be done, boys.
His whole career, I haven't seen Crosby flop a lot, and last game was like, everybody's just like, take him for his word. He never does this. It's probably fine. And it's like, whoa. That was easiest case of embellishment.
Okay, yes, it is easy to point the finger at Crosby. I'm the Canadian, of course, I'm going to defend him. I do think it was an embellishment, but I think Crosby's doing that because he's seeing other guys doing it, and he's seeing them getting away with it. So it's a bit of a domino effect.
That's not his game. That's not his game.
It's not his game. Crosby be the one to initiate that, but he sees that everyone else is getting away with it. Don't I try it?
Guys are stepping on sticks and getting tripping calls.
Exactly.
It's ridiculous, and the timing, like Gensel like shoots the puck, they're on the power play, gives the goalie a little tap. I don't think that needs to be called. This is playoff hockey. Sure, let Gensel get roughed up in the corner after, get a little stinky mitt to the face, fine. But like, you don't need to be calling penalties unless it's egregious. And the refs are really trying to insert themselves into that series, and I'm not liking it, boys.
If the Panthers were called like these games have been called in the first round, Sam Bennett might as well just have a studio apartment in the penalty box, because he was touching everybody last year in the crease.
Yeah,
so exactly. It makes me kind of glad that I don't have to deal with that. I don't need to worry about my players doing that this year.
Oh, Sam Bennett, he's the kind of guy obviously you want on your team, but playing against him just is an absolute nightmare. Like he's everywhere. I don't recall there being much flopping last year, was there? Like the Panthers weren't doing any of that trash.
I know Florida doesn't do it.
No.
That's why I think a lot of people a lot of the fans that hate the Panthers, because we're known as a big bad bully. So anything that happens to their team, they want something done against us. Brad Marchand, Bennett.
If your last name is Kachuk
with Kucherov, the shit that happened last year, so Florida's not known for the embellishments parts, but I feel like Tampa Bay, that's Kucherov's alley right there.
Okay, I got to step up for a second. I wouldn't say Cooch has really been one to be flopping in this series. I think it's kind of just been sprinkled around both sides, both teams. But we got to talk about that Jake Evans hit on Kucherov, because that was not a flop. That was dirty. That there's no room for that in the sport of hockey. No,
I agree. Talk about the Avalanche here. Now, that was a quick series. Kopitar's last game. It's crazy that we won't be able to see him play hockey again. Talk about your memories of seeing Kopitar playing in the league for as long as he did.
Man, he's a legend of the game. Like I said, it's a blessing that we're able to watch Crosby, Carlson, Malkin, Letang. Like, I throw Kopitar right in that group of guys. He's just been an incredible, not just player, but just just figure for the NHL. He's from Slovenia, which is really cool. He's a complete class act, 2-time Stanley Cup champion. Like, he's going to go right to the Hall of Fame. One of my favorite memories, I think, Ceaz, we've told you about this, draft with our friends every year. And back in 2014, I took Kings and Jesse took all Sharks. And the Sharks went up 3-0 in the series. And Jesse's, calling me, texting me, telling me, all good, man. There's always next year. Not even trying to chirp me, like he was actually trying to console me. Take this fantasy league, and I said, they're not down. Just wait, 3-0. Like, let's see what they can do. And they came back, won 4 straight against the Sharks. Jesse was losing his mind, obviously, and the Sharks went on to win. The Kings went on to win the Stanley Cup that year. And I just remember watching every game, and I was just blown away at their whole team. That team was just built to win. But just specifically Kopitar's leadership, he never seemed panicked. You could tell that the team just gravitates around him. They all just love the guy. He's just such a likable player. Definitely one of my all-time GOATs. And yeah, that's probably my favorite Kopitar memory is 2014, watching that cup run. And of course, we could forget the 2012 cup run when they went in as the 8th seed and just dummied everybody. So I can't say enough about the guy. I absolutely love Anze Kopitar.
He's such a great guy. It's going to be sad not to see him on the ice anymore. But what's really cool is we got to see him after the game in the press conference, and he brought both of his kids up there with him. So that was really cool to see. And did such a lot of good things with the community, the hockey community, and LA definitely had themselves a legend and will always be remembered for the Stanley Cups that he's won with them.
Yeah, for sure. And good for the Kings. They obviously, this wasn't their year to win the Stanley Cup. They only had, I think, 22 regulation wins. They couldn't really score. But look, they took a swing at it. They traded for Artemi Panarin, who's obviously a big name. They took a crack at it. Their jerseys are also so nice. We got to talk about how nice those jerseys are.
I love those black jerseys.
Oh, they're incredible. The throwback to like the Gretzky era, just so clean. It was cool. Like, obviously they got swept, but it was cool watching Panarin, Kopitar, and Kempe play together on a line. They couldn't really score much, but they generated some chances, and that was just a really special line to watch. Besides the fact they couldn't score.
Talking about that they couldn't score. What's his name? Who played for the Olympics? Who ended up getting hurt for the LA Kings?
Oh, Kevin Fiala.
Fiala. Not having Fiala, I think, hurt their offensive struggles here in the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a top 6 guy. You lose a top 6 guy for the playoffs, and it's hard to replace someone like that. So it's too bad. I don't know. There's something about the Kings this year, man. They just didn't have the scoring, right? Like Laferriere is playing power play. I mean, he's a decent player, but I don't think you're winning a cup with him on your PP1. I like Trevor Moore. He's a dog. He works hard. But I don't know. That team just couldn't really seem to. It's funny, though, because I talked about nothing. And I don't know. There was just no real panic. It felt like they were able to come back.
Yeah.
But this year, when they were down 3-0 to the Avs, I think everyone kind of knew that they were toast. It felt different this year.
It's hard going against the best team, one of the best teams in the league, with Colorado. I feel like they might have a chance to win it all. Them or, Minnesota has a good chance too. That series is probably one of my favorite. Dallas and Minnesota. Let's kind of go into that series real quick, Jeff. Jaden. Sorry,
man. I don't even know where to start. No, it's okay. People mistake us all the time.
Although you're better looking, just don't tell them.
Thank you. I'm better looking. He has a bigger teeth. I'm the better hockey player. I don't even know where to start there. But man, like let's dive into this wild Star series. I mean, it's been phenomenal. Let's just go ahead and agree that these teams should not be playing in the first round.
I agree. It needs to go back to the 1 through 8 format.
This is the series you point to where you look at the seeding issues again.
It's not right. Those two teams should not be playing against each other. Similar to Montreal Tampa. Like, we've loved that series. It's been great, but those two teams should not be playing each other. Pittsburgh and Philly.
First round series with 2 Stanley Cup finalists.
First round series with 2 Stanley Cup finalists?
They played against each other in the Stanley Cup finals in the COVID year.
Right.
Because of reshuffling.
The
first time it's happened in the first round.
Yeah, the seedings are different then, right?
Yes.
The Canadian division.
The Discover credit card, Southern Conference or whatever. But yeah, it's the first time a Stanley Cup rematch has happened in the first round.
Crazy. I like that little nugget there, JP. So you know what? Minnesota, Dallas has been awesome. Something that stands out to me, first thing that pops in my head is the goaltending. Like, Ottinger was obviously trash in the first game, and then their coach, Gulletson, just came back out to the media, said, no, this is our guy, and he defended Ottinger, which is awesome, because rewind it to a year ago, do you remember Pete DeBoer benched Ottinger?
Called them out, benched. Oh, my God. That was crazy.
Like, you can't be doing that. You got to just ride your guy and give him all the confidence you can. So Ottinger has been lights out since that, after that first game. And then on the other side, Wallstead has been incredible too. Like, both goalies have been really, really good. Tons of chances both ways. Like, you look at both teams, obviously there's depth throughout the lineup on forward, but they're even getting production from the back end too. Like, Faber's been incredible. He has 3 goals. Quinn Hughes is Quinn Hughes. Who else? And then Dallas, obviously you got Miro Heiskanen. Thomas Harley's getting some chances. He can't seem to find Twine. Who else is there? I mean, like Bischel and Tyler Myers are walking into the slot with chances. Like the opportunities are there, and the games could be higher scoring than they are due to the elite goaltending.
Shouts out to Die Hard here, Josh. Wild versus Star series has been amazing so far. Great goaltending by both teams. It has been a fun season to watch. Yes, you could arguably say that one of those teams could end up winning the Stanley Cup too.
Absolutely. Whoever moves on and plays Colorado, that series is going to be awesome. And let's remember what happened last year with Dallas and Colorado. Mikko Rantanen, his redemption, Game 7, that third period. Like we're going to need to buckle up. Whatever that series ends up being, it's going to be awesome.
And we have a question here from my boy in the X community, Jamie. Jamie wants to know, is Wallstat trade talks going away? And I know you and I kind of talked about it yesterday. Wallstat might not be the guy that might be traded. It might be who?
Gustafsson.
So depending on how Wallstat finishes here in this series, what do you think they're going to be doing as far as goaltending? Because you can't have two starting caliber goaltenders on the same team, right?
I mean, it's better than having 0 starting goaltenders on the same team.
That is true.
I mean, you could have a lot worse problems, C's. But yeah, I mean, if they can get some value for Gustafsson, which they absolutely could, then why not do it, right? If Wallsted's your guy, he's young, he's clearly proven that he can perform in the playoffs. I think maybe you trade Gustafsson and try to build some pieces around him to make the team better. A team like Edmonton, I'm sure, would be all over a goalie. You'd think. We're going to dive into that Edmonton series a little bit, by the way.
Yeah, we're going to save that for last because that's the juiciest of them all. So
I have a background picture for that too.
Okay.
So yeah, C's, to answer your question, I think trade talks will be team better and dish out one of your attendees. Why not do it?
I agree. Let's see what other series here we got. Let's see, the Mammoth Golden Knights. Utah is leading Vegas right now. Are you surprised by this?
Yes and no. Yes, because they're playing against a juggernaut in Vegas. And, some people might think, oh, juggernaut, what do you mean? They weren't that good. Vegas wasn't that good this year. But the Vegas Golden Knights just always seem to find a way in the playoffs. They're relentless. They know what they're doing come playoff time. They've got the leadership. They've won a cup before. So I am going to call them a juggernaut. However, Utah, can't sleep on them. Like this team is built really well. Like they're fast. They're tenacious. Yeah. They've made some trades. They've added some pieces to their back end. Like they're a wagon. I think they could absolutely beat Vegas in the series. That game's going to start soon, by the way. And then also, if they do it, Anaheim or Edmonton, which is a very winnable series. So if Utah goes to the conference final, wouldn't surprise.
And they got the championship pedigree, right? They, got Schmidt back there from the Florida Panthers last year or the year before. Last year, right? No, last year.
I'm laughing, Steve, because we could be naming Dylan Gunther. Nate.
You kind of got cut off there. Can you say that again?
I said sorry, C's. I'm laughing because instead of hopping right into Schmaltz, Gunther, Cooley, like any of these like studs on the Mammoth, you just dove right into Nate Schmidt, former Panther.
I mean,
we all have a reference point, man.
And also RC2, Vitek, Vanacek too. So I mean, they got some Stanley Cup pedigree back there.
Hey, experience doesn't hurt, and I'm just gonna I know we'll save the Edmonton Anaheim series for last. But look at Anaheim, right? Like they got some young pieces, of course, but then they got the vets. You got Granlund, you got Kreider, you got Jacob Trouba, you have John Carlson. Like they've got a nice mix of youth and vets, and I think that makes for a really good Stanley Cup team. But sorry, let's go back. I don't want to get too ahead of myself here.
No, that was perfect. So now, who do you think that series goes to? Minnesota or Dallas?
This is a very good question, C's, because, is this going to be Dallas beating Minnesota yet again? And we see Dallas, make it to the second, third, potentially fourth round, or, and then what would happen to Minnesota? This would be them getting bounced in the first round for the millionth time in a row. So it could be that same storyline that we hear and see year after year. Or is this finally the year where they break through? I mean, they made that huge trade for Quinn Hughes. That's a monster trade, and it's obviously improved their team, but it just goes to show you how hard it is to win in the playoffs. And just with the NHL playoff format being the way it is. But look, it could really go either way, C's. But if someone had to ask me right now who's winning that series, I'm taking Dallas. I'm not betting against Rantanen. I'm not betting against Robertson. I'm not betting against Wyatt Johnston, Ottinger. These guys just get it done. And Minnesota hasn't proven to me yet.
Exactly.
Who do you guys think? Who do you think?
I think Dallas has a really good chance just because they've been farther than Minnesota. Minnesota has yet to prove that they can get past the first round, right? Now both teams have really good goaltending, and I trust Ottinger more than I do Wallstedt, just because he's a little bit younger. And who knows? And also, Ottinger hasn't had his breakout playoff series. So could this be the year where he's like, you know what? Screw the haters, screw everybody else. It's time for me to shine now.
For sure. There's a lot of questions going into these last couple of games of that series. But to be honest, I think it's all about just getting pucks to the net. Both goalies are playing great, but if you throw pucks on net playoffs, anything can happen. Look at the winning goal for Anaheim last night. Paling throws this weird puck on it, bounces off a skate, goes in. This Pittsburgh Philly game, Vladar Letang takes a bomb from the point, goes off the back dasher, pops out, hits Vladar's skate, goes in. I think you got to put pucks to the net, put the puck in dangerous spots near the net, and it's going to go in. That's just playoff hockey.
Yeah, and I think that's something that us fans sometimes get frustrated when teams just keep cycling during the power play or in the offensive zone. Shoot the puck. And I think one of the legends who was also the voice for the Florida Panthers TV, Denny Potvin, said the best shot in hockey or the best pass in hockey is a rebound. So shoot the puck at the net. You never know what could happen.
Yep.
100%. Just low shots off the pad. Just go get those greasy rebounds. Nikita Kucherov, unbelievable passer, unbelievable talent. But you could just see on that 5-on-3 yesterday, he's just trying to be cute. He's trying to make the pass. Just step in and rip it. He's got a good shot. Just I think you got to just put pucks on net.
Yeah. Let's go into here. Let's see here. The Carolina Hurricanes beat the Ottawa Senators. There's this
briefly,
notion,
if we can.
We don't need to spend a ton of time on the series, boys. So what I will say is, in Canada, everyone has been glazing the Senators, the TSN panel, some of my buddies. Oh, Senators are going to win, and I just wasn't buying it, boys. I wasn't buying it. The Hurricanes. Gold. Fool's gold. The Hurricanes know how to get it done in the first round. I'm not betting against Rod the Bod. This team has been there many times.
Anderson is incredible,
He finally found out what a sweep feels like.
Man, there isn't really much to say other than Carolina they just played their game against Ottawa, and that's that. There's something about the Hurricanes though, they just seem to get the bounces. I mean, they work their bags off, don't get me wrong. They play cohesively, they know how to get it done, but they just seem to get all these weird bounces. Okay, we should talk about that shootout, or sorry, the penalty shot. Was that game? What game was that? 3 maybe?
A lot of debate on that one.
That was
as
so
far as
weird.
rule changes. As far as rule changes go, it's do you think the coach would have elected to take 2 minutes of a power play instead of
what? I missed that. So you guys are going to have to catch me up on what happened.
Okay, so pretty much what happened was Martinook. Okay, so the Carolina entered the zone. the play was offside, but they didn't know that yet, so they kept playing. Okay. And then Martinook went and got tripped kind of like on a breakaway. So the ref had his hand up for a penalty shot. Play keeps going. Carolina scores. So then they go, okay, wait. We're going to review this to see if it was offside. So Ottawa challenges it. They go review it. Turns out it was offside, but they still gave Martinook the penalty shot. Now, the question is, should that have just been completely void because it happened after the offside, right? Because, like, let's say you enter the zone, 2 minutes of play happens, you score, they challenge it, go back. They erase those 2 minutes and go back. That play never happened. So as soon as the offside happened, you think, okay, blown. Gave Martinook the penalty shot. Now, I don't know exactly what the NHL strange. I thought it should have just been no penalty shot, back to Martinook scored the overtime win for that game.
The only comp I can think of that, like if you're playing American football, but if you're playing American football and you have an illegal man.
I love American football. I can't stand the CFL. I'm all NFL, but continue.
All right. So if you are the illegal man downfield, say you're an offensive lineman, you found your way down the field 30 yards. If you get pushed when the ball's headed your way, the pass interference outdoes the illegal man downfield.
Right.
So it's like
came first.
Should the offsides offset the trip?
Right. It's same thing, the holding call, and then it leads to a guy ripping a guy down with a face mask. It's like, well, he wouldn't have face masked the guy if he didn't hold him.
Right.
Yeah. And usually if there are two penalties on the same offense, they do like you said, the one that's a lot more than, So, I mean, that's crazy. I didn't think that they would call that. I'd be interested to see in the rule book what exactly the rule is. But yeah, I mean, but going back to this series, Ottawa did not do much. Diehard here kind of pointed it out. In all 4 games, Brady Tkachuk had 0 points. To me, if
Tkachuk 0 points, Stutzel 0 points. Like, that's unacceptable. Your top guys need to be your top guys, and they just simply didn't get it done.
And all of a sudden, Ottawa's out of it. Panther fans have been screaming, bring Brady Tkachuk to Florida. And I'm one of those guys that I love the Tkachuks. Everybody knows they're my boys.
Everybody knows it.
But I feel like Brady Tkachuk wants to build his own legacy. Him coming to Florida would be like a LeBron James situation. Oh, you had to go to Florida to win a Stanley Cup.
Kevin
I
Durant.
don't think he wants that.
Okay, so that raises a good question, C. So where do you think Brady Tkachuk should go where he's not in Canada anymore?
I was going to just say America.
Yeah, well, he wants to go to the States. I mean, that's pretty clear. But where is a place where he could go where he's still kind of paving his own path, right? Like, Brady Tkachuk is going to want to play Brady Tkachuk hockey, and the Florida Panthers kind of play Brady Tkachuk hockey. So what would be a good spot for him to go where he can go play his game and build his own legacy?
How about Boston?
Whoa.
Well, I mean, that would be.
I like that.
Especially.
I like that.
That's an interesting one, John, JP. I haven't really thought about that. They do have the cap space to make it happen, and they have the draft capital.
And they have that little bit at the top where they're missing, like, you have McAvoy and Pasternak, but if you have one more like guy who is in a leadership position, that could be the rug that ties the room together.
I like that. He does play Bruins hockey. He'd be a good fit there.
And could you imagine him and Matthew Tkachuk, like that rivalry? could we bring that to
can only get better? Yeah, as long as they fill the schedule with games against the Bruins, because we were short this year with Bruins games.
What would Boston have to give up?
I don't know what assets they have.
Didn't they have the choice? Didn't they have the choice between Ullmark and Swayman, and they chose Ullmark?
Could you see that happening? Like getting Ullmark as well?
Like, I think we trade away Swayman. We kind of made a mistake here. He's obviously disgruntled. Maybe we'll take Allmark back too, and then we'll give you a lot of prospects. And then the Sens just start over.
RC has a very good point. Boston has a lot of extra first-round picks, including
Okay,
Florida.
so sorry, boys, I'm just tuned in here. Okay, so very interesting. So Boston is potentially going to get the Leafs first-round pick because don't forget the Leafs traded Brandon Carlo. Sorry, the Bruins traded Brandon Carlo to the Leafs for a first-round pick and Fraser Minton. Unbelievable trade for the Bruins. Don't know what the heck the Leafs are doing there.
I bet
But
the
it's
Leafs
top
are
five
kicking themselves
protected.
in the ass. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. It's top 5 protected. So if the Leafs
Right
end
now,
up
the Leafs are
getting a
number
top 5
5.
pick, right. So if a team like the Jets or a team below the Leafs end up
Or
jumping
Florida.
them,
Or
or Florida jumps them, then that will bump them down to 6 or 7, 8, whatever. Then they'd end up losing that pick. So now all of a sudden the Bruins have the 6th or 7th overall pick on them.
Mm-hmm.
Do they draft someone with that pick, or do they trade it for maybe Brady Tkachuk? Maybe do a bit of a package deal.
That's a really good point there, and
You heard it here
love
first.
that idea. I love that idea, but the one team I have an eye on, and I think a lot of people as well, St. Louis. They have a lot of cap space next year.
Yeah,
and they could end up trading. I mean, wouldn't you love seeing Brady go back to his hometown, and maybe in a couple of years when Matthew's ready to retire, join his brother?
Penguins win, and we have a melee at the end here.
There is an absolute
Let's
melee
go!
happening. We're
I'm
sending
alive!
it to Game 6.
My
boys.
bracket's alive, gentlemen.
Let's
I
go,
kind of want
C's.
I kind of want to see Philly grease those light poles after round 1.
Could you imagine if this goes to Game 7? And I think it'd be on
Oh.
Saturday night too. That would be electric.
Dude,
Yeah.
if it goes to Game 7, we should do a live stream.
100%.
Let's
I
do it.
actually need to see if that'd be Friday or Saturday night. I'm gonna check
I
that.
think it'd be a Saturday game, from what I hear.
Oh, that would be so insane.
But yeah,
Let's
what
see
do you think, Jesse? Who do you think Matthew or Brady Tkachuk would go to? There's a lot
Wednesday
of
and
people.
Saturday.
Biz today on Spin Chicklets said that he does not see Brady coming back in Ottawa, and like the Ottawa media has put so much pressure on him and all, and But I go back to what these fans too say. How much pressure did they put on Barkov when he didn't win the Stanley Cup? So I mean, it just goes to show you like
I think Marner's a better comp. I think
Marner, but he wasn't a captain. Barkov was, and so is Brady Tkachuk. So
No, but Marner's almost a captain. I mean, he wore an A for the Leafs. He's like one of their leaders. Marner's going to be in the spotlight big time if Vegas gets bounced in the first round, especially in Canada, like Leafs fans, and it's going to just be.
they're going to be
relentless.
happy. They're going to be happy if the Vegas Golden Knights don't make it the next round. But going back to the Brady thing, he needs to play better. I think he needs to take accountability. And I love Brady Tkachuk, but 0 goals, 0 assists in this series, it's not good enough. It's not good enough for a team where you thought you could possibly contend for a Stanley Cup. You can't blame Allmark. He played really, really well.
oh my god,
was
the save
lights out.
percentage. That's why I want him. Those numbers are crazy.
He was great. Like Carolina just peppered him all series, and he just stood on head. But then, like the Senators had their chances. I mean, like Timmy Stützle had some glorious chances. Couldn't bury. Credit to Freddie Anderson, he was great. But like, you're a top player on a playoff team. You need to find a way. 70, 80 something points in the regular. You can't put goose playoffs. You just can't.
No, I agree. Yeah, so it'll be interesting what happens here in Ottawa this summer, especially with the draft coming up. Keep an eye on Brady Tkachuk. JP says Watch out for Boston. I think we got to watch out for St. Louis. Is there another dark horse team that you could see Brady going to, Jaden?
Wow, it's interesting you mentioned St. Louis. I never really thought about that, but I could see him playing for the Blues. At this moment, Cease, though, I honestly can't really pick Brady on any specific team. I gotta just kind of wait and see what he says this summer, see what teams are kind of offering for him. But yeah, like you guys both mentioned some great teams: Blues, Bruins, maybe the Panthers. We'll see. It's very interesting though, kind of what we were talking about with the Bruins maybe potentially trading that pick if they get it from the Leafs. But what about the Panthers? Like the Panthers are going to get a really high draft pick. They might have the 6th or 7th overall pick, right? Like, do they keep that or do they trade it and try to get an asset to help them win another cup next year?
Here's the thing. Like I said a little bit earlier, I don't think Brady wants to live under the shadows of his brother. I think he wants to build his own legacy. They've had an opportunity to play together already in international level. And I think that they're happy with that. And don't get me wrong, I think they're great teammates. They feed off of each other. We saw what happened in the Olympics, them having the doors open for all the players, their leadership and intangibles. All that's great. But I feel like Brady wants to make his own he wants to write his own book. And I think coming to Florida would be like, oh, well, could you imagine the Canadian media saying, oh, you had to go to Florida in order to win the Stanley Cup because you couldn't do it yourself. And the pressure, I think he wants to live his own legacy. I would think he wants to write his own chapter, his own book, just wants to be the guy that wins the Stanley Cup. Now, would it be great doing it with his brother? Sure, by all means, that would be incredible. But you also got to look at the Florida Panthers. They have a lot of players that are signed long-term with no trade move clause. So Carter Verhaeghe has a no trade clause. Bennett has a no trade clause. Reinhardt has a no trade clause. Who are you going to move to get Tkachuk to play on the second line?
It's a very good question. What's Samaskevich's contract like?
This is he'll be an unrestricted free agent after this year. So
he's unrestricted or restricted?
Yeah. I believe this past year he was a restricted. Does he have 2 years as a restricted free agent?
He signed a 1 year, $700,000, I think.
Yeah,
last offseason.
I feel like he's still young enough to.
Yeah, I think he's restricted.
Okay.
I think
so
he's restricted.
I think this might be his last restricted season. So he still
okay.
Has that.
So what if you trade him and the 7th overall pick and maybe one other little piece to the Senators for Brady Tkachuk?
Who would you trade? And we've already got enough players that play his style. Bennett plays his style. Marchand plays his style. Tkachuk plays his style. If we get rid of a Verhaeghe or a Reinhardt or a Lundell, you're going to have.
No, you don't.
Okay.
You don't get rid of those guys. Like, you do not trade Carter Verhaeghe. That guy's a dog in the playoffs. Yep. You don't trade any of those guys. I think you just see what I'm saying is the Panthers are going to have a really high draft pick this year, and this is a very good draft. So they can end up trading the 7th or whatever pick they end up getting, 6th, 8th overall pick, and move that piece to get someone who's good right now, whether it's Brady or someone else.
Great question by RC. Who's going to play goaltender?
We have the biggest question mark, I think, is how much room Bob is going to take up on the the salary list.
And there's rumors that he and Florida are not seeing eye to eye on the next extension. So
okay. Well, he kind of played against himself by saying how much he wants to be in Florida, exactly. As somebody who doesn't have
I think
he's tipping his hand a little bit.
And it could happen. Brady could end up coming to Florida. Don't get me wrong. I personally wouldn't do it as Bill Zito as a GM because first, I guess we got to see what Bob is going to ask for. Is he going to get 5, 6, 7 million? If he gets 7 million, I don't think we're going to have enough cap space for Brady Tkachuk because Brady's
no, and we'd have to keep Tarasoff at his low number too.
Yeah,
and basically run it back with a better defense.
If Bob gets like a $5 million deal, I could see it maybe happening. But I think
I could see him getting the Ekblad deal
Yeah,
for 2 years.
I
just
was
feel
just
like
thinking, yeah, Ekblad's a guy who took a bit less money because he wants to stay there and he wants to win.
yeah,
Yep.
he definitely took a friendly deal, but I
One
think the
thing I
biggest. Go ahead.
wanted to push back on the Kachucks. I don't think so. They played together internationally. I don't think that they played the kind of hockey that they would play together in the NHL, which is a little more scrappy. I think that like if there was an opportunity for one of them to defend the other one while they're both on the ice, I think that would be their brand of hockey. So I don't think that they could do that. And then also the Canadian media, I think as soon as they kick Brady out and they don't have to think about him, he'll just be like an afterthought, like a run on, just kind of like out of the side of their mouth, like they do with Mitch Marner now.
Yeah, and I don't think Brady Tkachuk really cares what the Canadian market thinks.
Exactly, that too.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like if he can go play with his brother and have a ton of fun and go try to win a Stanley Cup, I think he'd love.
You can't fault anybody for taking that choice.
Yeah.
It's not like, Kevin Durant losing to the Warriors and then he has to join them.
No, you're right. You're right. But I just feel like Florida's in more dire need of the defense. And we all saw what happened when Seth Jones left or when he got hurt. We all saw what happened when Bob didn't play a really good year, didn't have a good year, right? So I feel like the question mark for Florida is more their goaltending and their defensive side. I'd rather use my assets and the money to improve the defense and goaltending than rather getting a Matthew Tkachuk or Brady Tkachuk, excuse me. Then
Well, we're all worried about the goal line or the goaltending pipeline because Knight was the guy.
What if we made a deal, boys? What if we gave you Hellebuck and
you've already told me yesterday, screw you, Ceaz, you're not getting Hellebuck.
I did say that. Well, you pitched it. You're like, give us Hellebuck. I was like, no.
I mean, that's
He's
the
our
guy
American.
That's the guy that I'm keeping an eye on, Jaden, and I know you don't want him gone, and rightfully so. I think he's very undervalued, and he hasn't been given the right team around him to show what he can do. We all saw in the Olympics what kind of a goaltender he can be. He is a Hall of Famer
filthy,
right?
2-1 filthy.
The saves he made in the Olympics, Jaden, you got to admit, was incredible.
Man, it was the greatest moments I've ever witnessed. That save on Devon Taves in the crease, like at that moment, we all kind of knew this guy's not letting in another goal. But I mean, is he untouchable? I mean, like as a Jets fan, of course, I don't want to trade Connor Hellebuck. He's our whole franchise. Like he's a complete stud. Hasn't been great in the playoffs, but if we could trade him and get back a serious haul as a Jets fan, I'd be okay with it.
What would you want from Florida for a Hellebuck? I'm kind of curious. What would it take for you to like that trade?
As a Jets fan, if I were to trade Connor Hellebuck to the Florida Panthers,
there, can you hear us?
Can you hear me? I can hear you guys. Yeah. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
I lost you. Let me get back out and get back.
Okay.
All right. I'm pulling up the trade machine here because I want to see what works as far as Hellebuck goes.
Okay, so I'm going to continue here. I'm going to say if we traded Hellebuck to the Panthers, I would definitely want Anton Lundell in the pack.
See, that's where you lose me because yeah, I mean he's I mean they've said all the right things, like he's the guy that's going to slot as one of the captains. But obviously that
did we lose Jaden?
No, I think he's just listening to me say stupid things.
Jaden, you there? I think he might have to come back out and come back in.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, good.
Chat, can you hear us?
All right, so he wants Lundell for Hellebuck.
Let me text him and tell him to get back, go out and then go back in. So
if we're
Lundell,
looking-
I'm not trading Lundell.
exactly. I wouldn't either. I don't think the team would.
And here's the other thing. Paul Maurice did say he sees Anton Lundell as a future
As
captain.
a future captain. Yep.
And I don't see Barkov leaving anytime soon. Is this an opportunity where Lundell has a chance to be the team captain for Winnipeg and actually take over his leadership? And I kind of think we talked about it, Jaden, yesterday. Lundell would be a perfect fit for Winnipeg just because of what Paul Maurice has to say about him being a future captain, being a 1 or 2 center on a really good team. So I could see that happening, but I don't know if they would happen next year.
Okay, boys, I'm back. Hope, can you hear me now? We're all
Yes,
good.
we're good now.
Yeah,
I
you're
think
good.
so.
You're good.
Okay. So like I was saying, if we were to trade you guys Hellebuck in return, I would want Anton Lundell for sure. He needs to be in that package because the Jets need a second line center.
Mhm.
I would want your guys' 7th overall pick or whatever first round pick you guys are getting this year. It's going to be nice and high.
And it could be
And-
a top 5.
Yeah. And I'm going to need one more piece. It's tough, right? Like I want to throw out a name like Verhaeghe or someone like that, but you guys aren't going to get rid of them. And a lot of these guys have no trade clauses. Winnipeg is a very hard. Cheveldayoff has a very hard job as the GM of the Jets because no one wants to come here. A lot of these guys who have no movement clauses,
You're not getting BigCeaz.
or 10 team no trade clauses, whatever. They all write Winnipeg on there. No, we're not getting BigCeaz, man. That guy's glued to
Right.
Florida.
Right.
You got to get your ass down to Winnipeg, C's. We'll get you
Oh,
over here one day.
definitely. That'll happen one day for sure. But yeah, no, I think if it were to happen, Lundell would definitely have to probably be in the package. But I personally wouldn't like to see Lundell go.
No.
We all seen
No,
how valuable he was this year.
And Maurice specifically said captain for this team when he was
Which-
talking about his leadership.
Yeah.
He's unbelievable, and he's young too. Like
Mhm.
he went that same draft year as Perfetti, Jarvis. Who else went that year? Was it Lafreniere? Like these guys are young. Like he's in his early 20s, and he plays like such a leader. He's big. He's poised. This guy's 2 cups already. Get him on the Jets.
Yeah. Well, we'll give us Hellebuck and maybe
You wish.
Hey boys, if you want Hellebuck, you're gonna have to pay the price.
But he'll get mad enough.
So let's kind of move on. I know we kind of like tossed around Brady Tkachuk and a couple of trade situations, but let's move on to the final series of
We have something to talk about.
yes. But before we do, Spittin' Chicklets can't seem to like stop talking about me. Let's hear what they had to say.
I don't even know. It was like the C's parted. Maybe his hockey spectrum autism is like Jesus. No, like the C's part. He was able to do that.
Who's the guy?
brain.
Who's the guy from X-Men? The guy in the wheelchair, like with his mind, he could just like part things. Like he could make things move.
Yeah,
Big
The
C's.
bald guy.
I know who you're talking about.
He was also
too.
in Star Trek too.
Yeah, he's the leader of them, I believe.
Big C's.
Oh, it's geez, that's right.
It hurts my heart to hear them talk about X-Men. Oh my god. You got to know what you're talking about. It's got to be Professor X right there. Come on.
What do you mean? It was Big C's.
I mean, that is hilarious. I love Yandles. I love Yans. So they were talking about Lane Hudson there. Just that the whole goal situation, Jaden. I know we were talking a little bit before the third period yesterday, and we're talking about Connor McDavid's legacy, right? What does he have to do to get over the hump? He hasn't had the best series yet, although he is injured, but he hasn't been playing well. Talk about this series. Anaheim goes up 3-1. Are they in trouble?
Okay. Connor McDavid has not looked good in the series. First 2 games, he actually looked terrible. Games 3 and 4, he looked a little bit better, I'd say.
One of my favorite pictures.
It kind of sums
Oh
it up
my
a little
God.
bit.
Okay, we know that that's an old photo though, because we got Steve Skinner.
We
now.
got Skinner. We got Skinner in there, obviously. But
Okay, so it's clear that Draisaitl is hurt, but McDavid is also battling some sort of injury. Like
Right.
he's making plays where like he just kind of gives up a little bit, and we know McDavid is a complete competitor. So he's just the way he plays hockey, right? A lot of stops and starts, speed bursts. Like he's missing something right now. I do think he's trying to do a little too much. Like he tries to go hero mode, dangle through 5 guys at the blue line. And Coach Q for the Ducks is just he's doing a great job. Like they're defending their zone really well. They're not letting McDavid go in there and dance around guys. I think McDavid is trying to do a little bit too much, and he needs to use his line mates a little bit more. But his line mates are a bit banged up too. Like Zach Hyman looks a little slow. Savoy started on L1 with McDavid, but they bumped him off. I think they bumped up Nugent Hopkins to L1. I'm a bit worried for Edmonton. I don't think the series is over by any means. I think if any team can come back and win 3 straight, it is the Oilers. Right? They've been here. They've faced elimination before. Like this team's got some dogs, but they're just, I don't know. Your top guys need to be your top guys. Podkolzin's been good. Kapanen's been good. I mean, Draisaitl has been good. He wasn't great last game, but Draisaitl's been good. Bouchard looks terrible. As the boys on Chiclet say, Bacardi Bouche. Like that guy's been drinking way too much Bacardi before the
he
game.
did score last night.
He had an absolute snipe. Yesterday he was decent, but like a couple games before he was awful. Like he gave up that pizza on, I think it was Gauthier's winning goal in the dying minutes. He rips the puck off of Draisaitl's leg. Like he just makes boneheaded plays sometimes. You never know what version of him you're getting. I did like the goalie change. I think Jari looked pretty steady, even though he gave
really
up 4.
yesterday.
He looked very good. Their 4th line is terrible. Like Trent Frederick's awful. Colton Dock is whatever. But I mean, they've been getting some decent production from their middle 6 guys, but that top line really needs to get going. Like McDavid needs to get going. Otherwise, they're going to lose this series.
And there was a point, and I think you and I were watching in the second period, where McDavid is just standing there and not going back on defense. And I think little plays like that have been frustrating for me, because the guy that is actually decent in his 200-foot game hasn't been showing it in this series. And countless times he's been turning the puck over, and he hasn't been showing up.
Yeah, I think he's hurt. I think there's some fatigue, right? This team has gone to the Cup final back-to-back years. I know the Panthers did it 3 times, but you know they went. The Oilers went. The Oilers went back-to-back, right? McDavid went to the Olympics. Draisaitl went to the Olympics. Like these guys are probably tired. It's no excuse. You still need to show up. But also we got to talk about that goal, that overtime goal. Did it cross the line? Did it not? But like that's such an unlucky bounce, right? Like let's say Edmonton, that bounce doesn't happen. Edmonton finds a way to win that game. We're tied up 2-2. Edmonton's going back home for game 5. Who knows if we're even having this conversation about, the Oilers are doomed. So such an unlucky bounce. Do we want to dissect that play a little bit?
JP, can you find that image of that overshot of the goal, non-goal? I know Matthew Tkachuk came on his podcast today and talked about it. The NHL has several angles that we can't see from home. So, and he's talked about it being on the bench where the coaches actually have their iPads. They see angles that the NHL has that we can't see. So is there an angle where it shows it crossing the line? I don't know. I know there's a camera on the back of the goal net that is back there, but I don't know if that would give you enough evidence to show whether it crossed the goal line. The biggest issue I have with this non-goal call, or them calling it a goal, is they called it a goal on the ice. And when you call it on the ice, you can't reverse it unless you have visual evidence.
Okay, so Ceaz, I 100% agree with you. My problem with this whole thing is, how was that called a goal on the ice? The ref wasn't even.
Yeah.
he wasn't even standing there. And even if he was, I don't even think he would have been able to see clearly if it had gone over the line because Jari's skate was over it. So look, I think the right call, I think they got it right because there's a very likely chance that the puck did cross the line. But I just find it strange that the ref was able to come in and rule it a goal before they even reviewed anything based off of Poehling selling like he won the Stanley Cup.
Yeah. And it was a tough situation to see. And I give Connor McDavid credit for what he said. He goes, we got to do a better job of shooting pucks in the net. When you shoot at the net, you get bounces like that and goals happen. We haven't been doing a good job of that.
Okay, so like I said earlier in this pod, I mean, just throw pucks on net. You get weird bounces. You get one off the skate. The goalie, I don't know, gets stunned for a second and the puck goes in. I think you need to just throw pucks on net. And, McDavid had a couple chances. Remember, he flew by, was it Seneca, with a few minutes left in the third period? Couldn't bury. Like, those chances come back and bite you if you don't finish.
Exactly.
There's so many angles of this, and it's like the puck isn't shaped like a triangle. Like, why is there so much controversy there? We know where the top of the puck is there.
I personally think it was a goal just by looking at it when I did see it. I think, but Jaden does raise a good point. Them calling it on the ice is what it's like. Because if you look at the referee, when we look at the play, and I would show the video, but obviously YouTube copyright purposes, I can't. But if you look at the play, the referee is nowhere near the net. How the hell is he going to call that a goal? So I see the point in the Oilers' favor, but I also see the point in, where you could say, yeah, you could definitely tell that this is crossing over the line.
Yeah, so I don't like that the refs feel like they have to make a call. And I remember watching the World Juniors, this must have been 10 years ago, where the puck maybe crossed the line. They weren't sure and play kept going on. And instead of the ref saying goal or no goal, he just went like this, like the call me sign, meaning like this is back when they used like telephones to like call upstairs or go to Toronto. So he went like this. And play kept going on until there was a stoppage. And then once the stoppage happened, they went and reviewed it. Like, I don't like that the ref felt like he had to make the call there, goal or no goal. Like, why can't we just leave it? Because I saw the ref kind of put his hands up. Why don't we just leave it, go to the replay room, and then make a call? Like, because if they called no goal initially and then went to the video review room, they would have come back and said, ruling on the ice stands, no goal. Like, you can't overturn that. I see what you're saying, JP. Like, we all use our common sense here. That is very likely over the line, but there is not conclusive evidence that it's a goal or that it's not a goal. So it sucks that we just had to go based off of what the ref had initially said, and he wasn't even standing there.
So let's kind of like move into the argument of why not put cameras inside the goalie or the pipes. With the way we got technology nowadays, like we have ability of putting small cameras. Why not put a camera right on the inside of the post, just in case things like this happen, you're able to see it?
Yeah. I think maybe it's okay if there's a little bit of human error. I know I just went on this rant about this goal that was called a goal. Maybe it shouldn't have been called a goal. But I also kind of like if there's a little bit of human error too, right? It's like, why do we have umpires in baseball? We don't need them. We could just use the strike zone box AI for every single pitch. But it's nice. It's traditional. It's nice that there's an umpire calling balls and strikes. I was watching the Blue Jays game today. There was a pitch that was fully a ball, and they called it strike 3. And no one challenged it. I mean, yeah, if we just used AI, then that would have been called a strike. So I think there needs to be a little bit of human error in sports.
No, I agree. And it, depending on who you're cheering for, right? It's also going to, you're going to go on their side. So referees are human. They're going to make mistakes. It sucks that it has to be in this typical game, and especially with how the Edmonton Oilers have come in. All eyes on them. A lot of people picked them to win the Stanley Cup this year, including you, Jaden. But I think Connor McDavid is hurt, but I also feel like, and I know you and I talked about it yesterday a little bit. So was Matthew Tkachuk, and I know they're not the same players. I'm not trying to compare them, but Matthew Tkachuk willed his way through and didn't make the mistakes like Connor McDavid is what I'm saying. He's got to be a better teammate. He's got to start making better decisions. And it just doesn't seem like the team is gelling on the ice. And it's showing.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, they're different players. Look at McDavid versus Matthew Tkachuk. McDavid's the kind of guy who's going to be skating into the zone a million miles per hour. Tkachuk doesn't really do that. He's kind of good around the net. Or sorry, not kind of. He's
I think we lost him. Jaden? We got to take a snapshot of this.
Solo.
There we go.
What's happening?
You're back. You're back.
Guys, I'm sorry. It looks like it's just me on the screen. Oh, there we go.
And this is the reason why Anton Lundell will not go to Winnipeg.
Hey,
Yeah.
No, I'm pretty sure
Needs that good
Laine
internet.
said that Winnipeg has very good internet. So I don't know. There's something going on here. Something going on in the water. But what was I saying? They're just different players, Tkachuk and McDavid. Yeah. But look at Barkov, right? Barkov is the leader for Florida. McDavid's the leader for Edmonton. Barkov gets hurt in training camp this year. You guys have the worst season you've had in years.
Yeah.
So it's tough. But yeah, I think McDavid's is banged up right now. We'll see if they can get it done. But man, we also got to give credit to Anaheim. Like I think everyone was sleeping on Anaheim before the series even started. Like they were pretty cold heading into the playoffs. There's no doubt. But look at the Cutter Gauthier is sick. He's unbelievable hockey. Willis scored over 4 goals this year. Young, like this kid's a gamer. Bennett Seneca, he's so young, playing unbelievable. Who else? Like McTavish. There's been some scrutiny around McTavish's name this year. He's been good in these playoffs. He had I think he assisted the game winner yesterday. So they have these young guys. Leo Carlson.
How about Gudas? He's got a Stanley Cup final appearance pedigree as well. Like him being the captain.
So Gudas isn't playing right now, C's. He played game 1 and then he got hurt.
No, but in the locker room, I mean, because he's still around the players, I think it still helps.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, we all look at Gudas and we think, hey, this guy's just a big dummy. But Yandel speaks very highly of him on Chicklets. He says he's literally the best guy in the world. So yeah, I agree. Having a guy like that around is awesome. So Dallas has all these young guys. Sorry, forgot to mention Leo Carlson, their number 1 center. Unbelievable player. Like he is so fluid, such a good skater, so smart, drives the play, long. Like he's literally everything you want in your first line set. So they have their core of young players, and they're going to be good for a long time. But then throw Brandland in there. Who else did I say? True, John Carlson, Chris Kreider. Like these guys are gamers. These guys have played in the playoffs before, and they got Joe Quenneville actually built for outed them, including me. But let's see, like the series isn't over. It wouldn't surprise me if Edmonton came back after glazing the Ducks for the last 10 minutes. Who knows? Edmonton could very well come back. So we'll see, man. This is playoff hockey. Like anyone can win on any given night. We all thought Pittsburgh was toast after game 3. You thought your bracket was busted, C's. And now here we go. The game 6. If they win game 6, send it back to Pittsburgh for game 7. Are you kidding me?
You cannot count Sidney Crosby and Malkin out. Like they're veterans, and I don't think they were going to get swept.
The energy on Wednesday is going to be nuts in Philly. They're going to be so hungry for the end of the series. It's going to be awesome.
What do you think is going to happen if they end up losing that game in Philly?
The Flyers are going to be booed out of the building.
The Flyers fans are in panic mode right now.
Oh, I know Philly fans. John and I know Philly fans. They are brutal.
They booed Santa.
Man, they're relentless, but that's just Philly fans generally. Eagles, Flyers, like you name it. Those fans are going crazy. They're never pleased. But man, look, like the Flyers could very well get it done game 6. They've got a good team. Right? Porter Martone, he hasn't been too hot the last couple of games, but first 3 games of the series he looked unbelievable. They've been getting production from their D as well. I think they have like maybe 6 goals from their defense in the series so far. Vladar has been really good. So, I mean, he let in a couple weird squeaky goals today, but Vladar has been good. Boys, I don't know. It's
That
playoff
third one,
hockey.
the third one was weird.
Third one was really weird, but man, it's anyone can win. Like it's a coin flip, honestly.
Yeah, no, I agree. Let's go into our next segment here. What's our hot take? Who's gonna win the Stanley Cup final?
Oh man, that is a hot take. Okay. If I had to pick, if I had to pick right now,
Not.
I mean, look, I mean, look, like Colorado's the easy pick, right? Like Carolina, kind of the easy, right? Like Tampa could do it. Tampa could very well get bounced in the first round. I could also see Tampa winning the cup.
Yeah.
But if I had to pick right now who's winning the cup, I'm sticking with the Oilers.
Oh.
Woof. Okay.
Okay, so you're gonna think they're gonna win 3 games in a row.
Okay. I do. I'm not betting against Connor McDavid, man. I know he's been junk in the series. It's not even just McDavid, it's Leon Draisaitl. Like, guys, is Draisaitl better than Connor McDavid? Is that a crazy
That's a good hot take. That's a hot take there.
That might be my hot take. I don't know who's winning the Stanley Cup, but all I know is that Leon Draisaitl actually might be a better hockey player than Connor McDavid. McDavid's a way better skater, there's no doubt, but just like hockey sense and like shot, like Draisaitl's got a much better shot.
He was more like, we've unfortunately had to watch him so much over the last few years as Panther fans.
He was the better player.
He's been more dangerous with the puck.
Right, like you watch McDavid with the puck, you're like, whoa, this guy's flying around, but he's kind of like zipping around the zone.
He's fast, yeah.
He's fast, quick hands, but like when Draisaitl has the puck and he's like anywhere near that like home plate in front of the net, it's like, oh my god, this guy's going cheese. So
and like, yeah, it felt like he was better with the puck for sure, and I felt like his shot selection was way better than McDavid's too. Over the last 2 postseason runs.
Look at their lines also. Like L2 for the Oilers right now is Draisaitl down the middle with Podkolzin and Kapanen. That line has been really good. Like they're all producing, and like no offense to Kapanen and Podkolzin, they're good hockey players, but like they're not phenomenal hockey players. They look great right now, and they're playing with Draisaitl. He's driving that line. Can't say the same for McDavid's line. So no disrespect to Connor, unbelievable talent, one of the greatest hockey players we've ever seen, maybe the greatest. But is Draisaitl better? He might be.
Yeah. He might be. No, that's a good point.
The speed gets you a lot of looks, so I don't think a lot of people will agree with that, but I agree with you for sure. I've seen more from Draisaitl than I have McDavid.
It's crazy to think that the Oilers could win and McDavid wouldn't win, like might not win the Hart Trophy. Or sorry, not the Hart, the Conn Smythe. I mean, it's funny because McDavid has won the Conn Smythe without winning the cup.
Yeah, he did win it 2 years ago.
I'm sure that helps him sleep at night.
Trust me, it doesn't. It does not.
I know.
But it's crazy to think that he could win the cup and not win the Conn Smythe. It's a bit of a mind blender there.
Very good point, and we've seen it happen with Florida.
I got a hot take.
What's your hot take, JP?
I think that the Sabres are going to take it all, and they're going to do it with the ignorance of experience. Forget all this Stanley Cup playoff experience. I think they're just going to have a fun ride.
I could definitely.
I love that take. I would love that.
And they've shown it right now in the first round. Although it is Boston, Boston did get in there as a wild
way
card.
in over their head.
It'll be interesting to see how they do if they play Carolina or Tampa.
that series is going to be electric.
Right?
No pun intended. Okay, but another hot take. Actually, this isn't even hot. This is just common sense. The Anaheim Ducks need to get rid of their orange nonsense and go back to the eggplant and green.
Yes. Yes. You and I talked about this last night.
So
How
yes,
sick are
because-
those eggplant
yeah.
green jerseys?
The sickest. I actually got one here. I'm going to pull it out. But
There
their
we go.
logo, okay, their Mighty Ducks logo is one of the greatest. I mean, it's obviously nostalgic for me.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's incredible. But like, what are we doing with the orange, boys? I'm sorry, but like, we need to go back to these.
Yep. No,
Yes.
Look
they,
at
they got
that.
the logo, but they ruined the color scheme.
Just go back to the eggplant. It's just such a cool colorway.
The yellow or the orange is just so jarring against so many colors in the league. Like,
It is.
It's
reminds-
awful. Like watching the Oilers play in Edmonton against the Ducks with the whole crowd wearing orange with the Ducks on. Like, my eyes can't handle it.
specifically, yeah. This is like it's like the Bills playing the Titans on a Thursday night where they're both wearing their color rush uniforms.
Hmm.
And it's red, white, and blue on every side of the field, and you're like, ugh.
I thought you guys love red, white, and blue. USA,
I mean,
Hellebuck.
Hey, don't put words in my mouth.
no. But I'm gonna give you.
I'm
guys
sorry. This is recorded. I love this country. There's nothing wrong with it whatsoever.
My hot take.
Mine was just related to sports. Like, I see C's partying at the elbow room with a USA flag around him.
USA. Let's go States.
Dream on.
Okay, C's, what's your hot take here?
My hot take is
He's gonna
I think Colorado's gonna win the Stanley Cup.
That's not a
And-
hot take.
No, okay. All right. So my playoff prediction, I think Colorado will win the Stanley Cup. My hot take is this offseason, Connor McDavid will get traded. Don't know to who, but he will get traded. Things will be happening in Edmonton. They're not happy to where they're at. I know he signed a 2-year deal, but my hot take is he will be traded.
So I don't think anybody's going to agree with you here because his take was the Oilers are going to win the Stanley Cup. So I don't think that.
Okay, so I mean, do I really think the Oilers are going to win the Stanley Cup? Maybe. I'd like to see it happen. If they lose one more game, one of their next 3 games, they're toast.
I would
But
love to hang that over them.
C's,
Like how you
honestly,
did it when we weren't there.
And I did say this like during the Olympics. I wouldn't be surprised if McDavid wants to play with the young superstar from Team Canada,
Celebrini.
Celebrini over
Sam
there
Bennett?
in San Jose.
Oh.
They got the cap
Oh.
space.
I thought you were going to say McDavid's going to go to Florida. I was about to lose.
No.
Play with.
That's what I'm
Kachuk.
here for. That's what I'm here for.
I'm more realistic, okay? I'm not gonna be like one of these guys. Oh yeah, we're gonna get Connor McDavid. Like, no, please.
That's what Heat fans do. That's what Heat fans do.
Yes, and I am a Heat fan, but yeah, that's not gonna happen. And besides, I don't think Connor McDavid wants to play in Florida.
Okay, so C's, that is a hot take, and I actually could see that happening. The question is, where would he go? So McDavid signed a 2-year extension with the Oilers. I think at $12 million a year, which is actually a complete bargain. Like, if you wanted, if he wanted $20 million a year, I don't think anyone would say that's that crazy. Like, he's kind of worth whatever he wants. So he's got $12 million, and maybe he signed that deal knowing that it would actually it would make him more easily tradable.
Yeah.
Right. 12 million a year for 2 years. Like a team
friendly
could
is
sell that.
definitely tradable.
No, but it's funny. It is like
You're
12
right.
million.
You're right.
So
It's interchangeable.
So where would he want to go for 2 years? Like San Jose potentially, they're still scratching the surface of making playoffs. Would he? But then again, like, does he want to go to a place like Colorado where like he could go win a cup, but it doesn't look good on his resume because it looks like he had to do a LeBron.
RC here says Tampa would be a grudge move, especially for Florida.
McDavid to Tampa. Okay, here's a question though. What about if John Cooper? I was talking to Jesse about this today. What if the Lightning lose? John Cooper and Tampa Bay part ways, and John Cooper goes to Edmonton and tries to win a cup with McDavid there.
That's a hot take.
Like that one? That's shout out to Jesse.
Yeah,
I'm not taking.
You
credit.
need 2 early first round disappointing exits for that to happen, I think.
Which is very possible. Edmonton might be out in 24 hours or 27 hours.
7 hours, yeah.
Nobody's counting except for me.
Okay, and John Cooper, like Tampa, they might lose that
didn't
series.
He just sign an extension though?
Cooper?
John Cooper just signed an extension to Tampa.
Tortorella's still working off like 5 contracts ago. Like it doesn't matter what the coaches are paid.
DiPietro of coaches.
That's crazy.
Like Tortorella's still getting
crazy?
paid by the Flyers.
Now, I know we didn't really talk about Vegas, but how crazy is that he has a chance to win a Stanley Cup after these abysmal years that he's had with Philadelphia, and who was the other team that he was on? Gosh, I have a brain fart here. Who was he coaching
Torts?
before? Yeah.
Torts was the coach of Philly. I mean, he won a cup with Tampa like 20 years ago.
Yeah. Then after that, he went to JP, you got to help me here. Search
On it.
I think Tortorella.
I'm on the United States of Tortorella.
Did he coach Pittsburgh ever? No. Columbus.
Columbus. Okay. Yeah, that's where he left. Yeah, Columbus. And then, from Columbus, he went to Philadelphia. And then, looks like
Vegas is up. Yeah, Vegas is up 2-rip right now.
Ooh. Hey, who scored the goals, by the way?
They got a shorty, I think.
Goals were Dorofeyev from Barbashev and Eichel, and then Howden shorthanded from Marner. Wow.
Oh, okay. Howden's such a good player.
Man, the whole Vegas hiring Torts move was so crazy, and then the Islanders.
And then here comes the Islanders right after.
Islanders
right?
doing the same thing,
dude. How crazy was that? Like, so we all knew Patrick Waugh was in a short leash.
That was literally the last thing I thought would happen because I went to that Islanders game against the Panthers in I think it was February, and it was like that was the demoralizing loss. Like we were up on the Islanders and then we lost like in the last 2 minutes. And I was like, okay, this is where the season's over. I guess they just got a good young core and they're just, going to rock with that. And then all of a sudden they're out of the playoffs and they're out of a coach. And it's Patrick Waugh.
So I mean, I feel like the Islanders and the Golden Knights were in different situations. I think Vegas wanted to just shake it up before playoffs. Let's get a new face. We have a veteran team. I don't think Torts had to go in there and like change systems or anything like that. He kind of needs to just give them a kick in the ass and just say, "Okay, boys, let's go win a cup." And Torts is very tough on his players playing defensive hockey, whereas I feel like the Islanders hired DeBoer. It wasn't to squeak into the playoffs and make a cup run. It was more like, okay, this is our candidate moving forward. Let's just sign him now.
DeBoer, and I thought when the Stars got rid of him last year, I was like, this is going to be the shortest amount of time between getting fired and getting rehired. Because
I'm surprised it took this long.
Me too.
That guy is such a good coach.
I think DeBoer is a really good coach. Now, I feel like there's a couple of mistakes he's made in Dallas. Questionable decisions, right? But I feel like when he first started into the league, and I think Florida was the first team he coached, he did a pretty good, decent job here. And then everywhere he's been, he's had a winning pedigree, right? He's led the team.
How many cup finals has he been to? Like the Shark, wasn't he the coach of the Sharks when they went to the cup? They didn't win, but he coached them. Vegas, maybe. Was he the coach for Vegas one? No, I think was Cassidy the coach.
Cassidy won. Yeah,
he went to the Stanley Cup Finals in his first year after leaving Florida.
Yeah,
with the Devils.
Okay, there you go. Like this guy just goes to the cup. He
His
He's a
first
winner,
year with
man.
the Sharks, he was in the Cup final.
So we got a hot take in the chat from Sway Z's Wade. We get lucky and get McKenna. Wow. That would be
Oh, a little Ruben Bain situation. McKenna gets in a little legal trouble, and then all of a sudden he drops in the draft.
he's gonna be the first overall pick anyways. So I think we win the lottery. I think that's what he's talking about. I don't know if we'll see.
That would be lucky.
Oh my
That's
God.
the
Can you
definition of
imagine?
lucky.
All
Can you imagine
31 teams in the league will be
Oh my God.
livid if that happens.
Oh, people already hate us. Could you imagine if we get the first overall?
They hate us
pick?
because they ain't us.
Just give me a ring, man. Winnipeg needs a cup one day.
One day. I agree, and I think Paul Maurice would love seeing that for sure.
He said that after Florida won.
He did say that, and then he
cup.
won another one,
And then he won another one.
which
That
was
was
probably
classy.
good. That would have looked really bad if we didn't win back-to-back cups.
One day, boys.
Anyways, gentlemen, anything else here before we conclude this show? We did pretty good job. I love this. I love the hot takes here. I love what we've been seeing here in the Stanley Cup playoffs. I'll be watching a little bit more. I'll tune into this game here.
You got to throw up Professor C's again before we go.
Oh
Make
yeah,
sure we
that's
highlight
right.
that.
Thanks to Yans there. Appreciate the love, Yandel. But yeah, anything else, Jaden?
Boys, this was an awesome time. I just want to thank you both for having me on the Big C
Thank you
show.
for coming, Jaden.
This is wicked. Boys, anytime if I ever get the invite again, I'd love to run it back and do this again. And maybe after the Oilers hoist, we could do this again.
Keep dreaming.
Our boy RC has a little hot take before we let you go. The internet in Winnipeg eventually improves.
All things do except for the consumer experience.
Line said that the Wi-Fi in Winnipeg is good, but then he asked for a trade. So I miss him. I miss that guy, man. He should come back. That's another hot take here, boys. Before we get off, Patrick Laine should come back to Winnipeg. He was playing the best hockey of his career here. He scored 44 goals as a 19-year-old. He didn't want to play here anymore because Blake Wheeler was cemented on our first line right wing. I could go on about this forever, but bring Laine back. I think he'd actually play really well here, and the fans would welcome him with open arms.
The fans loved him there.
We still do, man. Just bring him back. I miss him. His power play shot. Oh, man. Those are some of my best memories. Going to Jets games and watching Laine score. Clap bombs from the left circle. Man, I need that back in my life.
That's a great hot take.
I got another one with Jack Eichel talking to PK Subban. PK needs a tailor.
Yes. What is he wearing now?
It looks like he's gonna go camping.
Oh.
Does it look like he's getting drafted in like the 90s NBA draft? Because those suits were kind of sweet.
No, actually. It looks like he's gonna get drafted in the 50s Vietnam draft, or like it's grass green, everything.
Wow.
Wild.
No.
You'll see it on whatever network.
His wardrobe, he doesn't care what other people say. He's that's one guy I wish Florida had for at least one season. I love PK. He was such a monster defenseman. Just never had the opportunity to play.
And Buccigross just scored on him.
Wait, did you say he never had the opportunity to play on a good team?
Yeah.
Didn't he? Wasn't he on that national team that went to the Cup?
Was he? He might have been.
When I think of him on,
Montreal.
Montreal.
He was on the Flyers too, wasn't he?
Yeah.
What? PK Subban was on the Flyers?
What?
No, I thought he just played on Montreal and Nashville.
Maybe that was my fantasy.
No, he
NHL
played New Jersey.
He played on the Devils. He played on the Devils.
That's right. What it was. Okay.
He was on the Devils.
I remember doing fantasy drafts in the NHL games. Yeah, PK Subban.
He was good. He was good in his prime.
He's such a legend.
What I remember him from is the Predators. That's like when I started ramping back up into hockey.
Yeah, he played in New Jersey, Nashville, Montreal.
10 years ago.
When did Nashville go to the Stanley Cup final?
2016, I believe.
So
He was on that team, I think.
Or was it
'cause
2017?
he was on the Nashville team after, I believe, because Montreal.
2016, 2017.
Let's see.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay, let's see
2016, 2017, because that's the playoff. He had 22 games played. That has to be that year.
Yeah, 2016, 2017, 12 points in 22 playoff games. I think they went to the Cup and lost to the Penguins.
Yeah,
Sid the Kid.
Yeah, so I guess he did play with a good team. So, I take that back. I think his brother was in Philly. Yes, his brother played in Philly. And
all right,
actually,
I'm just an idiot.
He actually played for the Penguins. He was a goaltender for Pittsburgh. So, but yeah. Anyways, thank you, chat, for tuning in. Really appreciate it. And Jaden, thank you for coming along. Really appreciate your knowledge on hockey. I hope the Oilers play well. That's all I have to say. Good luck on your bracket and in your fantasy league. I know you have a fantasy team during the playoffs. So, what place are you in?
I'm in second last. I'm not in last. Last place is Jesse. He took a lot of Vegas players. I took a lot of Edmonton players. So we'll see how that goes.
Oh man, you guys got to spread out the love.
No, in these drafts, you kind of need to just stack up on one or two teams.
But if those teams end up going out,
well, then you're toast. But right, you don't want to come middle of the pack. Right, you don't want to put all you don't want to spread your wealth. You got to just throw all the eggs in one basket.
I guess so. That's why I will stick to NFL fantasy football. That is my expertise.
Oh, well, Ceaz, I love NFL. We'll have to discuss NFL and fantasy on another episode.
Yeah, and it was a really good draft for a lot of teams this year. I'm excited. Giants did really well. The Cowboys did really well. The Eagles did well, unfortunately. So,
you already knew that because you locked into Cerebro before it happened.
Yeah.
Well, that's the beauty. That's the beauty of an entry draft is that every team gets better, right? NHL, NFL, you name it. Like all these teams are getting better. NHL takes these players a few years to finally start playing. NFL, you just jump right in. Well, yeah. I mean, it depends, right? Like Anton Lundell got drafted, played pretty much immediately and played a big role. Matthew Schaefer. But, most of these guys end up taking a couple of years, go back to junior, go play in the AHL, whatever it is. Whereas NFL, every guy's playing for their team.
Yeah. No, you're right. So, but yeah.
Florida Panthers checkers. Sorry. They lost in the Calder Cup to my local team, the Thunderbirds.
Springfield Thunderbirds. Don't get me started on them.
The old Panther affiliate.
Yeah. But, I mean, they didn't have the depth.
They lost 8-1 the first game and then won the last two. And now we got Providence Bruins against Springfield Thunderbirds in the Calder Cup playoffs.
That's crazy. I don't really keep up with the AHL. I try to tune in. I watched the first game.
And there were so many Panthers that showed up in that series.
Yeah, it was literally like watching Florida and playing the AHL. So
yep.
Well, you guys had a couple cup runs. You can watch. You can now watch a Calder Cup run.
No, you know what? Hockey's pretty fun when you're not so emotionally invested. That's pretty cool.
My pockets are doing a lot better this year too. So
there will be no flights down to Florida for me this year. I am pretty happy about that.
Wait, do you not live in Florida?
No, I live right near Springfield, Mass.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm the only one in Florida right now. So
crazy. Well,
here we are, triangulating our podcast.
So, how did you become a Panthers fan then?
Long story, but my dad moved down to Boca like about 17 years ago, and I started listening to all the sports radio down there, and just got really invested in Florida being 5 points out of the last playoff spot for about a decade, with a couple games in hand.
Good times.
Yeah, it felt like that this year towards the end, but when it was out of reach, it was kind of like a relief. But yeah, so people like Roy Bellamy, some of the hockey personalities around the Panthers, I got really into following because once the Whalers left Connecticut, I was done with hockey. Which, oddly enough, Paul Maurice, the last coach of the Whalers.
Yep.
Yes. Was he in his 20s? Wasn't he like 27 or something?
Yeah.
I think he was.
28.
I think he at least early 30s. But yeah, no. When the Whalers left, I kind of got rid of hockey, and I was like kind of following the Flyers. But then, as soon as I started listening to some sports radio, I started getting into the Panthers. So it's been like that for about 10 years now.
Man, well, you've been blessed to watch a couple cup runs. Oh, I'm looking for a jersey right now. I have a Whalers jersey somewhere, but I can't find it. Yeah.
Okay.
It might be at the lake. I don't know. I was just diving for it, but I was going to say, I mean, Whalers is a little bit out of my time. They left, I think, when I was like 1 or 2 years old, so I didn't get to watch them, but they have some of the nastiest jerseys of all time.
The Whalers are one of my favorite jerseys.
Trust me, every time I see the Hurricanes wear those jerseys, I'm like, you frauds.
Yeah.
You put them away.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. I know we've been trying to wrap up this episode, but I feel like the conversation is just there's too much elite content to get through here. Okay,
Great.
so that's a very good question. I have a good question for you, JP. Is do you get mad when the Hurricanes wear those jerseys, or are you just happy to see those jerseys back on the ice?
Or is it a little bit of both?
I would say that I'm happier to see people recognize the jersey through hockey more than I am what a lot of these teams that have popped up in Connecticut have since done, which is like the Wolfpack became the Whale for one season, and they were just like the same colors, but there was like not really the same thing. And then Hartford's AA baseball team uses the same color scheme as well. And it's just like I'm more mad at these teams co-opting the legacy of the Whalers than I am, seeing the Whalers jersey on the ice again. I'm still going to be mad at both, but I'm way more mad at like the minor league teams like jumping on the bandwagon of
imposing of what
it
should be.
Blue and green isn't you, Yard Goats. It's the Whalers.
The Yard Goats.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to ask because I've always thought when those teams wear their throwback jerseys, like when the Hurricanes wear the Whalers jerseys or when the Avalanche wear those Nordique jerseys, I'm always watching on TV like those are sick. Like they need to do this more. But then my buddy was telling me, he said, no, apparently the fans of those original teams actually hate when those teams do that.
Yep.
So it's kind of like – so Winnipeg Jets we didn't have a team when I was growing up. Like the Jets left the year I was born.
Yeah.
So growing up and as a teenager, we didn't have a team. So I always thought, how sick would it be if the Coyotes wore the Winnipeg Jets jerseys? Like whenever I used to play NHL, like I always would be the Coyotes so I could wear the Winnipeg Jets jerseys. Now Winnipeg has a team, so I don't know how I'd feel about another team wearing our Jets jerseys. But I don't know. I think it'd be cool if the Jets wore like Atlanta Thrashers throwback jerseys for a game. I feel like True North would never do that. They don't want to recognize that part of their history, which is interesting because like the Hurricanes like to wear the Whalers jerseys. Avalanche like to wear the Nordiques. The Jets just want nothing to do with the Thrashers. But I think it's kind of cool to like give a little throwback because those jerseys are sick.
So I think a lot of it has to do with the ownership group, I think, because the Hurricanes, it's a newer ownership group and they're still doing the Whalers stuff. Whereas for a while it was the team was bought from Hartford and they were put down in Carolina, and then they existed as they did. But I see those Whalers jerseys and I'm like, you frauds.
Okay, we got to admit that it's pretty cool seeing them on
Sean
the ice,
Dirk
though.
is alive and he's rolling in his grave. Okay.
Ron Francis. Those jerseys are sick though when Carolina wears their whites with the green logo. Oh.
Is it?
Yes.
I'm sure it is.
We have a lot of Panther fans that don't like Carolina, so it's very kind of like
why you guys wax them in the playoffs. Why do you not like them?
I don't know what
I don't like them because of the I don't like them because of the post-game press conferences. That's why I don't like them.
Fair enough.
Okay. All right. That's fair. I won't ask.
They don't know what a sweep is, despite losing 0-4.
Yeah, they said they didn't get swept. So, but yeah, I mean,
The body said that.
so yeah, there's some animosity between Florida and Carolina. I was in a coma during that series, so I can't really say here and I remember it. So, yeah.
Well, that's a good spot to end. That's a good spot to end.
But anyways, Jaden, it was such a pleasure to have you, man. I love your knowledge of hockey, and I can't wait to have you back on. And and tell Jesse to clean up his act there. We got to have him on as well.
100%, man. He's been freaking out about Mitch Marner the past couple weeks. So,
man. So real quick, I know we keep saying we're gonna go, but
hey, Paul Maurice was 30 when the Whalers moved.
30.
Wow.
That's it.
All
right,
I'll
with
be
your
40
program.
I was 40. I'll be 40 this year, so which is crazy. But anyways, question: does Paul Bissonnette, does he like Mitch Marner more than Jesse Pollock does?
Does Biz like Marner more than Jesse likes Marner?
Yeah.
That's your question? Like you mean that in a sarcastic way?
No, in a like a serious way.
Why not?
Biz loves Marner.
No, Jesse does not love Marner. Like Jesse thinks that Marner is a little bit. Yeah, no, sorry, I should have been more clear. Jesse's freaking out about Mitch Marner, saying that like he hasn't been good in these playoffs.
Okay.
He's been very critical. He keeps sending me clips being like, look at Marner, he just shies away from the puck here and this and that. But I tell Jesse, Mitch Marner is who he is. Like he's not really like a grinder.
He's not in Canada anymore. Like he doesn't need to worry about him.
No, but Jesse took him on his fantasy team because he took all Vegas players.
Why would you take him on your fantasy team if you don't like him?
Because it's Jesse. He says one thing means another.
That's what I thought about
I think he loves
this
him.
year.
No, he does love him. That's why he took him. But I mean, Jesse's gonna find something to complain about. But I'll go easy on him for now. But boys, this was great. Honestly, thank you for having me so much. I had a blast. And if you guys ever want to have me back on again, you name the time, the date. I'll talk to my Wi-Fi provider and I'll be back on.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say wife.
I'll make sure it's good with my wife. No. My girlfriend will be okay with it. But no, I got to talk to my Wi-Fi and just see what's happening because it's not good over here.
No, we gotta talk to you again before the end of the playoffs here.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Maybe once here in the next couple of weeks, before the next round, we'll get to see get an update on which team's gonna go.
Let
advance
us
on the
settle.
next round.
Would love to, boys. That sounds awesome. Thank you again. You guys are wicked. Keep doing your thing. Let's go, baby. Go Jets.
Like
Always
I
next
always
year,
say,
boys.
baby, one shift at a time, one period at a time, one game at a time. Till next week, gentlemen. Let's go.
BigCeaz, tell them shout it to the